And we are back. Couch Company Podcast. I'm John. With me, as always, Tyler.
Hold on. Sorry, I'm still fading out.
Great intro.
And wait.
Nice. Brought to you by?
The champagne of beers.
Could be anyone out there. If you're listening to this, this could be you. That crack.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it tastes great.
Yeah, it's okay.
That's just a horrible,
Actually,
not a
horrible
great
sound.
It doesn't. Oh, hold on.
We have a guest.
That's pretty good. Okay, sorry.
New record for not introducing our guest. I think we're like 30 seconds in. Calvin, welcome back to the cast.
I'm glad to be on the couch. I see that we are actually on the couch this time.
Mm-hmm.
Calvin did point out once, he's like, or maybe it was like our only YouTube comment ever. He was like, you guys aren't even on a couch. He was like pretty upset about it.
Yeah. Hey, come be our guest. He goes, you aren't even on a couch. It kind of sucks.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, okay, man. Thanks.
Yikes.
It's like you're just lying about your premise, but
Yeah.
now we're being truthful.
We're couch adjacent. I think that's close enough, dude.
Yeah, we use the couch to
The couch is a mindset.
stop the sound bouncing around.
Sure. I was going more philosophical, but that works
Yeah.
too.
Well, what's the couch mindset?
Oh, if you don't know that, then you're not one of us. I don't know, relaxed, comfortable,
Yeah.
like our show. It's easy flowing, and you talk about really weird shit.
I
Now-
think our motto is games are better with friends.
Yeah, I would agree. I was going to
Yeah.
say that Baldur's Gate is the first game that I've played without friends that I've enjoyed in a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say we're gonna talk about that. Might,
It doesn't.
against the
Yeah.
motto a
Okay.
little bit.
Well, that's,
but we'll get there.
it's a working motto.
No.
I will say that before we started recording, I had a great, not epiphany, but I was pointing something out, and I wanted to kind of touch on this.
All right. Calvin's going to say something. Do you want to let him go first, and then you can have your epiphany?
No,
or-
I might just drink my beer and
Okay.
not even introduce him.
That's
so,
fine.
Okay,
You don't even have your beer open.
I know. I was waiting for the second half
Oh,
for our
okay.
second sponsor.
I got
ad.
you, got you.
It could be a whole new one.
All right.
It could be any drink.
All right. Epiphany, and then we can get the.
It's not epiphany. All right, so
Sorry, I tried.
Hey, I appreciate it.
All right.
keep that thought. Suits are great. Okay.
Yeah.
We were talking about suits because of some scam I fell into a long time ago. It was a tricky one. Anyone could have. It could have happened to anyone.
It's pyramid scheme.
Maybe. Anyways, so I'm a suit guy. I'm not really a suit guy, but I want to be a suit guy because I look great in suits. And my point was, every dude has an article of clothing or some accessory. You know, some people are watch guys.
Yeah.
Maybe there's a headband freak out there somewhere. You know, when he's wearing that headband, he just feels. You know, he's feeling himself.
Like a bandana.
Like a
Like a sweatband?
sweatband.
Yeah, like
Those
the.
are headbands, right?
All right.
Those are what that's called.
Yeah.
100%.
I think doesn't a headband like hold the hair back
Yeah.
from your forehead?
Yeah.
I don't know. My head accessories are kind of not
So
there.
you're not. Okay, continue.
But I'm not a headband guy. That's obvious.
Because you're
Right,
a
he's
suit
a suit guy.
Yeah.
I'm a suit guy. But anyways, when I'm in a suit, I feel confident. I look good. So my question to you both, what piece of clothing or accessory would that be for you? Could be shoes, particular shoe, watches,
I'm going to go with
sunglasses.
the Pittsburgh tuxedo, which is any sports jersey. I generally feel, most comfortable. It's like not super form fitting. It breathes well, so I don't get like hot and sticky. And it kind of works for any occasion, really,
Especially in Pittsburgh.
especially in Pittsburgh.
Yeah. I feel like you'd like nobody would bat an eye wearing a Pens jersey.
No, I mean, no joke. I actually I wore a Pens jersey to my uncle's wake.
Yikes.
Yeah.
And that's as Pittsburgh as it gets.
Not a single person was like, "Oh, you're underdressed." They were just like, "Oh, hey, what's up?"
Because we hold our hockey team in such high esteem.
Exactly.
feel
That was
that-
2017. That
Are
was
you sure
right,
they just
right
weren't
when we
being
won the
polite?
cup. I mean, maybe now
sure
that
they
we're
weren't
talking
like-
it out in hindsight, but
Did you hear a lot of whispering behind you? It's
No.
unintelligible.
I mean, I generally fill up the room with conversation whenever everybody's being quiet because silence sometimes makes me uncomfortable. So there was no real room for whispering with how much I was talking.
Wow.
Oh,
Yeah.
damn it! You talked. I just wanted to stare at him and get like an uncomfortable.
We're not on the
silence
same
going.
way.
No, 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 no.
that's
There's
fine.
I
not
fall into the same
Yeah,
trap.
That's okay.
No, but yeah, sports jerseys, and then I would even say like secondarily like hoodies. Generally, I like I like to not show my body form because I'm uncomfortable in my skin.
Wasn't expecting to go there, but what did the hoodie hockey jersey combo, so that must be your favorite combo on earth.
I actually do have a hoodie hockey jersey. Remember? I mean, it was what, like 2016 I got that. I was wearing that everywhere when we were hanging out.
Yes, but I was more talking to you wear a hoodie and then a jersey on top.
Oh my, I didn't even think about that.
That's too much clothing.
That it'd have to be
no,
it has to
winter.
be cold outside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's your favorite season when it's cold, right?
Yeah, but not so cold that it requires a jersey and hoodie.
Yeah.
That's a common thing. Like people wear that to hockey games. 100%.
I guess, yeah,
It's
if
like
you're
the
sitting next to
stadium's
ice.
Stadium's cold.
Sure. I wasn't considering the ice factor.
Oh, when you wear your hockey jersey? Yeah, I
yeah.
guess that's
All
a
right,
silly
that's
assumption by me.
Okay, I'm sorry. Someone wore it to a wake. I don't know.
That's true. Okay.
What about you, Tyler? What's your go-to comfort clothing?
I don't know. Chelsea, what's my go-to? Well, hold on. That's a different thing. What do I wear the hell out of, or what's my go-to comfort clothing? Because I'm with you on the hoodie.
The original premise was, what do you feel best in?
Oh, yeah.
Confident.
Okay. Well, then I just wasn't paying attention to you.
Like, I think Calvin took it
I go
literally in the fact that, like, he's comfortable in it, which is totally cool.
I'd go hoodie. What's your favorite clothing on me, Chelsea?
I don't know. You like your sleep shorts, but don't let other people see them.
Okay. Well,
Sleep
that's not,
shorts?
they don't look good on me.
Wait, what's a sleep short?
They're just
Like old gym shorts?
no, just not even gym shorts. They're sweat material.
Sweatbands? Headbands?
Sweat shorts.
Headbands for your
Sweat-
pants?
Sweatpants shorts?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Comfort clothes.
So they're
That
shorts,
is
but
a
they're like
comfort
sweatpants.
clothing. Yeah. Yes.
What material are they made out of?
Wouldn't that be like cotton?
They're sweatpants
like a cotton
material,
blend?
like
Cotton.
really thin sweat material
Oh,
It's
in
like that-
short form.
keep you cool.
They're not really cool. They're just normal.
That like weird fuzzy stuff on the inside, you know?
No, that's like so. Like that only happens if you're like constantly like rubbing it, or you're like drying it on like high heat or something like that.
Ooh, yikes.
Yeah.
So you feel best. You feel you're
Yeah, with like an oversized sweatshirt on,
Yeah.
and some sweatpants. I
Nice.
feel like that's
Yeah.
probably normal.
100%, man.
I like wearing glasses, as long as they're not my
Sunglasses?
glasses. No, like regular
Any
glasses.
glasses?
Yeah,
Okay.
I like looking smart.
Yeah. No, I feel that.
No, I'll just throw that on sometimes.
I like wearing anything on my wrists because my wrists are very tiny.
Thin-
and my forearms
thin-
are really
thin
tiny, so I
wrists.
need to take away from that.
Yeah.
You got to distract.
I
But
gotta distract.
but then doesn't that kind of like draw attention to your small forearms?
No, because it covers my wrist. Well, yeah, the forearms are doomed, but like when I play baseball, I wear an arm sleeve, so that covers one of my arms.
You know?
You should just be an arm sleeve guy.
I should be. I would love to like make that an acceptable look, just walking around with an arm sleeve. They're so sick. I know you look like a douche, but I don't care. I think they're sick.
And you were talking about a piece of clothing, not a tattoo.
Yeah, like you know those arm sleeves you can get. They're like stretchy. They're like
It's like
sports
compression,
players wear.
right?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought those were like you like put them on and it gives you like a fake tattoo. Like they're like clear.
There are
black.
those,
Right.
Yeah.
But
That'd be
athletes
cool.
will wear like actual compression sleeves on their arms.
Doesn't
They
that help
say
with blood flow?
they say it keeps them warm, whatever. I don't think so. I think it just looks cool. But like, who cares?
I mean, if you look
Makes them
cool,
look cool.
then you're
Dude,
hot.
you
right?
look cool. You feel good. You play better. I think there's something to that.
Yeah.
Which is why I might wear a suit when I'm on the court. Yeah, maybe not.
Now, the real question is: are you going to wear like dress shoes when you're balling on the court in a suit, or are you going to
Absolutely
go
not.
for
No.
like some Chucks?
I actually have to get basketball shoes because I was playing like last week, and the shoes that I have, which are just like regular Nike Air Maxes or whatever, my feet were killing me the next day. I destroyed them. I literally like couldn't walk. It was bad because they're too narrow.
Yeah. Well, that's Nike.
Yeah, I know, but I love them.
Okay.
But I need like a basketball shoe. The basketball shoes I think would be like have more room and stuff.
But you're getting a Nike basketball shoe.
I always get Nike everything. That swoosh,
Yeah.
that's it. That's where it's at.
I get it.
Tyler, I just want to draw attention to John's
the Under Armour
the
shirt?
Under Armour shirt that John's wearing.
Not lost on me.
Hey,
It's like two swooshes crisscrossed.
not at all, but
Four swooshes crisscrossed.
dude, it's laundry day, dude. I had to get to the bottom of the file. And my mom bought me an Under Armour shirt once, which I've never forgave her for. That was a bad Christmas.
Sorry, Marion.
No, it's Robin.
Robin.
Isn't it?
Correct.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Robin.
that's right.
Wow. Someone here is my friend, so
Eh.
I'll let the audience decide. Anyways,
But the question I was trying to ask earlier,
Oh, good call.
we've gotten way away from the couch, but how do you sit on the couch generally when it's just like, you're just hanging out? Are you like you splay out, you lay down, or do you like sit in a proper position even when there's nobody around?
I rarely sit on a couch.
Really?
Yeah. Because I'm usually gaming, so it's a
Right.
gaming chair. Or if I'm like watching something, it's in bed on my phone. So when I'm on the couch, I think I just sit upright like a weirdo because I'm not used. It's a little foreign territory for
Yeah,
me.
I lay down and then I fall asleep.
See, I have the same problem where I'm notorious for
Yes,
falling asleep while we're
he
watching
is.
movies. So I do this like kind of half thing where I kick my leg over the arm and then try and sit upright with my leg over the arm, which looks weird, but keeps me in this nice balance of comfort and also discomfort so that I don't fall asleep.
Yeah, Calvin always falls. Every time I've gone to the movies with him, he's fallen asleep every time. I think he has 100% success rate.
I actually fell asleep during Oppenheimer for a little bit.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
makes sense. It
That
was like,
was-
what, 3 hours?
3 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was good, but like there are just some parts gets a little
Can't be a
wordy.
10 all the time. A little wordy.
It's pretty good.
So wait,
Yeah.
how long was Oppenheimer?
3 hours. Exactly.
Oh, okay. And so is it better or worse than the Batman?
Ooh, better.
Better?
Yeah. It didn't feel like 3 hours. If that's helpful.
Batman
Yeah.
felt like 8.
Yeah.
The Batman felt like 8
Batman
hours.
felt
Batman.
longer
It felt
than
so long.
the Justice League 4-hour cut.
Really?
Justice
and-
League actually was good.
Yeah.
The cut.
Yep.
Like it actually didn't feel that long. Like I watched it with my buddy and it was like
It felt
this was
it
good.
felt less than 4
I
hours.
went into it with zero. This is probably what it is. I went into it with zero expectations. I was like, dude, the original was just trash. What could they possibly do? And I was shocked
Yeah.
at how much better they can make it.
See, the thing with Oppenheimer is, I mean, it's sitting at 93 right now. The 94 after a week. So I sent Mike that text message.
I was just gonna bring that up in a
And-
more cheeky way,
Yeah.
but all right.
And he said he checked it a week in and it was still 94.
Yeah.
And I don't have a way to prove him wrong.
No, but we were
So-
talking about it at sushi and it was at 94.
It was at 94, yeah.
But then you guys said you were gonna give it more time.
We would give it a week from release.
Oh,
So we
and
got, it was like the day. Like
But he
we-
doesn't have like a screenshot or anything.
No, and it was that's on me.
brutal.
Burden
Yeah,
of proof is
yeah.
on me. So I told
Is
him
it on
that's
you?
fine.
Why is it on you? I feel like it's 50-50.
Well, if you're winning, I feel like you need to.
He wasn't winning. It was a tie.
Right.
94 was the middle.
No, right. But what I'm saying is, like, if it's lower, then like if I quote unquote won, so 93 I won.
Yeah.
I would need to prove that a week
see.
after. Just like if it was
Yes.
95,
He'd
and he
have to
didn't
prove.
text me a week after, I'd be
Yeah.
like, hey man, sorry,
Yeah.
it was 94.
Yeah.
Prove it.
Just to catch everyone up and Calvin, there was a bet on Oppenheimer. 94, they broke even, and then 95 or up, Mike won, and then 93 and below, Tyler won. Rotten Tomatoes, audience score or critic? Critic score.
Yeah, I'll never go audience. That's too
Volatile.
Too volatile. We can't do that.
Yeah.
I think audience is like a 91 right now. Still great, but yeah, it was kind of weird. Like critics and audience kind of flip flopped with like Barbie or whatever. But
Really? Well,
Yeah.
they're both high in
everything was high. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
good. But anyway, Oppenheimer was good. I think 93 is high on it. I would give it maybe like 84, 85 probably, because it's literally like, hey, you know Robert Downey Jr. playing Iron Man? He's in this playing himself, like playing
Again.
Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah.
And then what's his face? Who's guy for Peaky Blinders?
Thomas Shelby.
Cillian
Yeah,
Murphy?
Cillian Murphy. Yeah, it's literally Thomas Shelby, but with an American accent.
Really?
Like, that's all it is. Like to his points, to his everything. It's
Yeah.
just like that's him. He looks like him, and it's
Yeah.
good. But like,
I mean, when you do something that well, I feel like it's a curse.
Yeah.
You know, it's a blessing and a curse, right? Like with Robert Downey Jr. Like, how do you ever not see Iron Man? And
Yeah.
I actually heard an interview with him where he's like, dude, I forgot how to act. Because, like, he's so similar to the character that he was like, this is just so easy.
Yeah.
And then doing that for a decade plus, it's like, loses his chops, like, real quick, you know?
go back to Sherlock.
Yeah. It's a good call.
Is it a good call?
Yeah,
You don't like that movie?
Sherlock Holmes.
The first Sherlock was good, but I remember, what was it? Den of Shadows or something was the sequel they made? Something like that?
I don't think so.
There was two?
Yeah, there were two of them.
There were two Robert
Oh.
Downey.
Second one was with Moriarty.
Oh, that's right. I thought they were
Interesting.
fine. I don't know.
I don't know. I wasn't a big fan of the second one. The first one was pretty good, though.
You agree with that?
I like the second one, but I would agree the first one was better because
Yeah.
it was novel. It was
Yeah,
like,
right.
oh, hey, it's,
Right.
it's kind of the first time you see it.
That's
Like,
usually how it
I
goes.
dig it.
And
I
then-
do want to point out in terms of, were you going to say something?
I was gonna say Oppenheimer is right now set to get 93 on the tomato meter for
Yeah.
critics.
Right. So for critics, you said?
Yeah, for critics, then audience is 91.
Yeah. So Tyler would have, if it counted now, you would win.
Yeah, if I had screenshotted it a week after release,
Yeah.
I just
Yeah.
wasn't thinking about
No,
it.
that's okay though. I would have set a calendar as soon as.
Yeah, I
Calendar
mean, hey,
reminder, bro.
you win some, you lose
When
some.
you're
There's a
in with
wash.
Mike, it gets competitive quick.
There
So
are a
you
couple
got to be
people,
prepared.
yeah.
I will say, so Tyler fell asleep during Oppenheimer.
Briefly.
Briefly.
Yeah.
Wasn't too bad.
I fell asleep during Dune, and that's one of my favorite movies.
That's disgraceful.
Yep.
I'm never watching it now.
The first time
No,
that I
just
saw
kidding.
Dune in theaters, because it's the classic, I'm trying to make plans after I worked a 10-hour day.
Right.
And so there's, I don't want to like spoil things for you, but right around where, everything happens, after that,
Things happen?
yeah.
yeah,
Spoilers.
you vaguely know what I'm getting at, right? With the fire and all the stuff,
Okay,
that
yeah.
right after that I fell asleep and then I woke up towards the end for the
How much
Jameis
did you
stuff.
miss?
Probably like a good 45 minutes.
That's bad.
Yeah.
So you guys see it again?
Movie. I mean, that's almost a 3-hour movie, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's 2 hours and 50, if I want
Yeah.
to say. So missed a good third of it.
That's brutal. But I will say, okay, now here's the thing.
All right.
So you fell asleep during Dune. You fell asleep during Oppenheimer. Tyler, we went to see, this was like maybe over a year ago now, Lord of the Rings Marathon. Extended edition.
Oh.
Did not fall asleep once.
I was nodding. I
was
was like
nodding.
during the Two Towers.
Two
with
towers.
The trees.
The worst of the three, by the way.
I was
It is
starting to feel
100%.
Thank you.
But yeah, I mean, that was 12
Then Return of the
hour-
King came on.
Yeah.
Yikes,
up?
that's a good movie.
It's good.
I've just been getting so many. I went down this rabbit hole with like you guys ever see those edited videos where people will make these edits?
Oh, yeah?
like specifically like on like a character or something.
Yeah.
And like they'll put music to it and
Oh, like a
stuff.
fan cam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know what the terminology was for it, but
I still think fan cam's a different. I think we're talking about
yeah, that
something
might be something else. But
different. Continue.
you know what I'm talking about
Yeah.
briefly. So I've been like getting recommended those because I went down like a rabbit hole. There's like this one. You've never seen Kung Fu Panda. Have
No,
you
I
seen Kung
haven't.
Fu Panda?
I stand Kung Fu Panda because it is actually one of the greatest things that DreamWorks has ever done.
Yes, exactly. He knows. He knows. It
the
slaps.
soundtrack is amazing. The writing is good.
Yes.
It like you don't run into the problem of like the repeating with the sequels. They somehow manage to make it fresh every single movie.
Which one's your favorite? Like curiosity.
I would the one with the bird the bird guy.
Two.
I think is two.
Yeah.
That's so good because
Yeah.
it almost empires you where you're like you really think that Poe's gonna lose at the end.
When they
And-
put Poe in Carbonite, it's like, dude.
dude, I was
This
like,
is-
what is going on? Pandas in Carbonite?
Yeah. No, but I agree. I think
Yeah.
one's my favorite just because it's like like you could tell one, and it's like it would be perfect. You know what I mean?
Right.
You didn't need the sequels, so I respect it for that. But two, people love two. Anyways, I say that because there's like this cool fan cam of
That is correct. I looked it up. It's what the Google says from FanLord. Fan cam is a recording of a celebrity or public figure taken and/or circulated by fans.
Okay, fair enough.
Now, what does it say when you turn safe search off?
I have safe search off by default.
I'm just kidding.
I roll that. Hey, I'm the research department. I need to be able to
Yeah,
research anything.
that's true.
That's a great. That's a great line.
With what we
Yeah.
talk about? Yeah. Anyways, so there's this really cool video of Tai Lung, the villain from the first one. It's so good. I gotta
He's a
send you
tiger?
that. Yeah, a leopard?
He's a snow leopard.
Snow leopard.
Oh, okay.
Also, we got to do top 5 prison escapes because that's on the list.
That would be number 2,
That
right?
What's number 1?
Shawshank.
Oh, you think Shawshank's
It
overrated?
is the most overrated movie.
Really? The
It is.
most?
There's a big gap
That's
between
crazy.
people who are saying how good Shawshank is and then how good like Godfather is.
True.
Godfather,
Facts,
really
though.
good.
Facts.
Shawshank, really overrated.
Okay, I'm with you.
I'm just gonna keep chiseling in this wall, and then I got through a hole and crawled through. Cool. That's not a thrilling prison escape. You know what a thrilling prison escape is?
What?
Prison Break. That's a straight
Talk about
12
a show.
seasons or whatever it is.
Talk about a show that fell off, though.
Well, I don't know.
But yes, I agree. Early on, that was
Yeah,
cool.
it's cool.
But is that dude? You have to watch Kung Fu Panda. I might burn hours on that because I'm telling you, this might be the greatest business game of all time.
I think I bought Kung Fu. I either bought it or rented it for Chelsea and someone. Probably her brother. Was it for Joe?
We didn't watch that.
It was. Oh, I just did it for Joe. Joe was house sitting.
Yeah,
and I
yeah.
got him Kung Fu Panda.
That's an interesting way to get paid for house sitting.
Yeah.
That is interesting.
Or was it kind of like a courtesy, like, hey, here's a new movie since you're watching my house?
He wanted to watch Kung Fu Panda, so I just got him.
Okay, all right.
See, sometimes you just have a craving to watch Kung Fu
I
Panda.
guess
It's that good.
I'm sure it's great.
Okay, my point was there's
Better than Shrek.
Oh my god.
Yes, actually, I'm gonna say it. I think. Wow. Now, Shrek is a meme, and so that becomes its own thing just
Disagree,
because
though.
of how meme.
Well, it is a meme, but are you saying it's good because it's a meme?
No, I'm
Okay.
saying that it's hard to compare the two because I would say that Kung Fu Panda is like a straightforward, really good story, and
Yes.
not to say that Shrek isn't, but Shrek has been sort of taken over by how memey it is. That it's like apples to oranges in my mind.
That is an interesting take. I agree. Shrek in the memedom is like it's too much, but people forget, dude. The Shrek's just a great movie.
Shrek 2 is
Shrek
also
2
like
is
another.
great.
It's
2's
really good.
fantastic.
The Fairy Godmother,
Fantastic,
those
yes.
musical numbers. I'm not a big musical number during a movie. Like if I want a musical number, I'm gonna go see a musical. And Fairy
There's some
God,
great musical movies.
there are, but I'm saying that when you just
Sound of Music?
throw a musical number into a normal movie, I'm generally off put by it. But it was excellent in Shrek 2.
Yeah, Shrek 2 is great. Is Sound of Music your favorite musical?
No.
What is it again?
Desert Song.
Favorite musical? Desert
Phantom
Song.
of the Opera, probably.
Phantom of the Opera.
Yeah, like the
Okay.
2002 one with Emmy Rossum and Gerard Butler.
Favorite musical? Put it on the spot.
Any
My
place to
favorite
Chelsea.
musical is West Side Story, easily.
It's good.
Really
I love it.
interesting.
Bernstein's the GOAT, bro.
Singing in the so if Desert Song is deemed not PC and or racist because it very well could be. I haven't seen that movie in a long time.
Yikes.
And
I've
it's
never
in
seen
like
it,
the
so-
Middle East, and there's just a white dude saving the Middle Eastern people. So I feel like that's probably not acceptable anymore.
Different time.
But
Then Singing in the Rain
well,
comes up.
so like West Side Story, it's like gangs and cool and like you like that, right?
Yeah.
So the Desert Song was the same thing, but it was El Kobar and the riffs, and it's literally like they're going in and it's like the people are trying to take back their land from like the Westerners or whatever.
Is it
And
like Lawrence of Arabia, but a musical?
well, I've never seen Lawrence of Arabia, so maybe, yeah,
He's shocked.
yeah.
Actually, I'm not shocked. It's more just like Lawrence of Arabia is such a fantastic movie.
Yeah, it's
Pioneered widescreen film.
it's high up there
It's
on
like
IMDb.
what if they sang? Sure.
Yeah.
But anyway, so there was that. But if that can't be deemed acceptable, Singing in the Rain, which then again, Singing in the
Aren't
Rain
there questionable things in
also
that too? Yeah.
a little questionable. Turns out a lot of movies in the 20s were not like
Yeah.
the greatest. I think that's when it came out. I gotta look that up.
I was gonna
20s?
say, speaking of old
Yeah,
movies,
that's
I
old.
recently watched Some Like It Hot with Marilyn Monroe, and that holds up. That's a funny movie.
I don't even know what that is.
It came up on TikTok a couple clips, and so then obviously I go and watch it.
Yeah.
And so these two musicians witness like a mob hit, and in an effort to get lost and not get killed by the mob, they cross-dress and join a women's band, and Marilyn Monroe is in the women's band. But the one dude is like in love with Marilyn Monroe, and so he's going through this whole thing where he's faking being a rich guy once they get to their destination, so that he can like romance her. I think it's pretty funny.
Interesting.
1952 is Singing in the Rain.
What's that?
I was 30,
52?
30 years off.
I was going to
Yeah.
say 20s. That's old.
20s is like Chaplin and Buster Keaton.
Yeah, that's old.
I think it was in the because like Singing in the when did pictures come like the talkies, because that was when it was
30s,
that-
I want to say, right?
okay,
that
so I
time
wasn't
period,
too
yeah,
far,
no.
but that's what
Yeah.
it was about. Is I don't know if you guys have you seen
Yeah, I've seen
Singing
Singing in the Rain.
Singing
It's one of
Okay,
my
yeah,
grandma's
so
favorites.
it's around then when it's like we're transitioning over to like film. Well,
I don't think I've seen the
Talking
movie. I think
film.
I've seen the show.
it's same thing.
Well, yes.
I assume.
But I would hope so.
Yeah,
Um,
I like the Music Man too. I just think it's well overdone.
Music Man's
yeah.
great.
Yeah,
It is kind
I'm
of
sick
overplayed,
of
yeah.
high schoolers doing it.
I was going to say, to get back to my original
Sorry,
point.
yeah.
No, you're good. So Tai Lung had a video about
We
Oh my
really
gosh.
got off topic.
way off topic. And then I was getting recommended all the videos. Aragorn's the GOAT, by the way.
Yes.
He's just the best. And so my point is Lord of the Rings, Return of the King might be top 10. It might be creeping up in my top 10 movies of all time.
As it should.
It's so good.
It's really good.
If it can keep Tyler awake, it actually deserves some
If it can keep me awake
crazy.
8-9 hours in.
Well, here's the thing. So I think one day I will be going through the list of assignments I gave you, and we will get a percentage of how many things put you to bed.
I think it's just that one thing.
No, I don't think so.
What thing put you
think
to bed?
so.
So
7.
7 put him to
Seven.
bed, which is
What?
mind-blowing to
I
me.
was laying on the couch. We've established
You know what,
this.
no,
If
that's-
I go
no,
prone,
that's-
I go out.
That is fair. No, I'll give it to Tyler
Not
on
with
this
this
one.
movie. You're watching some dude eat himself to death. You're watching fucking people get cut up, and like, there's no way you could go. I would have nightmares.
What's it
if I
Chelsea
went to
watched
bed.
it with me.
Did you fall asleep?
Turn what?
7?
You mean
She said
S7 in?
no. Yeah.
S- 7
It's a 7 in. Yeah.
What a great movie. That's in my top 10. That's in my top 5.
That's not a top 5 movie.
100%
I'm
it is.
sorry.
Yeah, I was on the edge of my seat the whole time. I was sweating. I was so nervous. I wanted to know what was in the box.
I can understand it. I just don't think it's a top 5 movie.
Dude, the cast is great. I don't know, dude.
It's not as great as The Departed, though.
That's why that's my favorite.
Yeah, very
That's,
good.
I watched The Departed with Calvin,
Yeah.
and it was probably the best movie viewing experience. We were literally just freaking out the whole time.
Yeah.
The first time we watched it, it was incredible.
Because was that the time with the mozzarella stick? No, that was
Freddy Got Fingered.
I apologize for that. I just want to say that.
That was-
in
that was an
in hindsight.
abomination.
If
But
I ever wanted to go to sleep. But like, I'm talking like put myself down type of thing. That would be the movie.
Yeah.
no, but we were. Was that when we made Blitzkriegs the mountain?
No, we were sober for that. We were
Was
in
it?
your room, and we were watching it when your TV was in your room. Yeah,
You're right. Yeah.
And we were just sitting on the floor, and we were freaking out. The elevator scene.
Yes.
Because we didn't think it could get any crazier, and then the elevator opens up. We're like, what the fuck? It was nuts.
Yeah, but you're sitting on a floor. You're sitting upright. You're on a floor.
And we're watching on like my computer.
I
monitor
watch things
on
in
my
bed.
tiny
I
desk.
watch 7 in bed, 2 in the morning, laying down.
You're younger, man. I don't know what to tell you.
Nah, get out of here. That's not what it is.
I
'Cause
guess-
he does the same
I
thing.
guess
Calvin does the same
technically
thing.
that's the same thing as I was watching Cowboy Bebop, which that was before, right? Like, did we burn time
That
on
was before. That was before, yeah.
So that was, like, that doesn't count, but I fell asleep to Cowboy Bebop, but that's
You fell
because I'm
asleep-
falling asleep because I'm like watching it while I'm
Right.
at night going to sleep.
I think the difference is whether you're watching it on your phone or you're watching it on the television. Because I'm thinking about it, like I have been watching The Bear on Hulu, you know, with the show about the cooking guy.
I have
Sure.
no idea.
It's real good.
The Bear?
Anyway, yeah, The Bear. It's on FX, Hulu, whatever.
Okay.
But I was like pounding through episodes of that at 2 a.m, watching them on my phone. But then trying to watch Shameless with my wife on the couch, I just like conk out. I think it's a form factor thing.
Interesting.
Because like when I'm on my phone in my bed, I'm actively avoiding sleeping doing something.
Yeah.
Whereas if I'm on the couch, I'm not actively avoiding sleeping.
Do you do the phone in the bed, Tyler?
Yeah. all the
And
time.
you fall asleep.
Yeah, that's how I fall asleep.
That's how I fall asleep.
Gotcha.
Right. So that's not it for him.
Chelsea,
But you
Chelsea
felt,
will lay on my shoulder.
yeah.
I hold my phone up and I'm watching it. Lowest brightness, 2 clicks on volume.
Wow, you're such a considerate husband.
Well, she'll
You
yell
don't
at
have
me
headphones that you.
No, so she is a considerate wife. I used to do headphones. Now I just lose them like
Yeah.
in the bed. And she's like, if you turn it down soft enough, it doesn't bother me.
Wow.
And it was
That's a
game
marriage
changing.
right there.
Yeah.
Yep.
Give and
So-
take.
So I just kind of hold it up until I can't feel my arm anymore because all the blood drains from it.
Cuddling's the worst.
No.
it should be
Cuddling,
outlawed.
Yes.
Cuddling's fine.
No,
It's-
no,
it's
he's
the
with me.
right hand.
He's with me.
I legitimately enjoy cuddling. It's not just because
Your
she's
right hand
right
should
behind
be-
me.
Your hand should be stronger though.
Are we gonna act like do you wait? Are you telling me that you guys sleep the whole night cuddled?
No, not at all.
Oh, good. Because I was gonna say
That's
only
impossible.
it's
That's impossible.
I think I spooned my wife for maybe like 3 minutes before we both put on our CPAPs and roll over and like fuck off to the other side of the king side bed.
Wait, what?
Okay, well, I can
What are you,
unpack that.
90?
Yeah, dude. I mean, I'm an old man in my heart.
That's fair.
But we lay there, and then my arm gets numb,
Yeah.
and then she wants to flip over, and she flips over, I flip over, and then I
Like a pancake.
Yeah, and then we're done.
Yeah.
We're good,
Nice.
and I enjoy every second of it.
Did we get a favorite
She's
musical
smiling.
yet?
That's good.
Chicago?
That's a good one.
That's a good
I would
pick.
not have picked that. It's better than Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
Dude,
I agree with
More
that.
like Shitty Shitty Bang Bang.
is
I
Chitty
would
Chitty
say
Bang
that.
Bang the one where he's like the candy, like he makes the candy, the Toot Sweets?
I don't know.
Yes.
That's the one?
Yes.
Which is weird because that was like a whole plot line in a movie about a flying car.
Yeah.
Like,
Okay, there you go. Wait, what? Exactly. There you go. That's how. Okay.
You hate Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
Chelsea loves that movie.
Yeah.
And it's
Is it better or worse than Freddy Got Fingered?
better.
Okay.
definitely better.
See, now I can say that now. Whenever you complain about anything, I can tell you it's
That-
not the
that-
worst
you
thing
know
you've ever
what?
seen.
That is 100% true.
I literally set the bar for you so low
Nothing
that
has
nothing will
turned
ever
my
touch it.
stomach, made me angry, made me so ashamed that I took it off the TV and put it on my phone so my wife didn't have to succumb to it. Like, oh my gosh.
But wait,
I
so-
can't believe we're still doing the podcast
Yeah,
after I pulled
it's
that
so
stunt.
bad.
That's crazy.
I gave you Last of Us.
I should be in jail.
And I get
Did you
Freddy
end
Got
up
Fingered.
finishing Last of Us?
No, not a chance.
You gave up after episode 3?
I will admit, it was a good show,
Yeah.
and I knew it was going to be good, but I gave up. I was.
Dude, you know who had a really big problem with that? Our friend Josh. He's like such a big Last of Us guy.
Yeah.
And after it was episode 4, whenever they like skipped over the Pittsburgh section of the game, he was like, I can't do it anymore. They've changed too much. Which like is weird because Josh doesn't normally take hardline stances like that.
I don't know if I agree because I would think you have to change it something because like the game itself is so much gameplay where it's like you got to do something with that, right?
Right.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like if you take all the cutscenes from the original game, I don't think it equates to a show. Like a 10, 12 episode. How
You
many
could
was it?
maybe do a movie because I'm thinking like
Yeah.
whenever Halo Infinite was coming out, I was like, I haven't played any Halo since Reach, so I watched like where people like, spliced together all the cutscenes on YouTube, and it was like an hour of cutscenes per game for 4 and 5 to get ready for Infinite. Mm-hmm. And then Infinite was a soft reboot anyway, and it didn't fucking matter. But
Yeah.
No, it wasn't. I think Infinite, they acknowledged that everything's happened.
that's soft reboot.
Yeah.
What?
Like God of War is a soft reboot.
Well, I don't understand that.
So where it's like you build, you have the current premise, right? But
Yeah.
you're sort of workshopping the characters and starting in a new setting. So like God of War is a great example where it's like you
Soft
have,
reboot.
you're the ghost of Sparta that is Kratos, and then you're like, oh hey, we haven't done anything with this in a while, so we're gonna plop him into Nordic country.
So my only argument with that is God of War had a huge hiatus.
Yeah.
Because that was like PS2 era. And then now it's like, but like Halo has been coming out consistently, I thought.
It's been a while since Halo 5.
Halo 5 was like 6 years before Halo Infinite, which like isn't that long in the
not
grand scheme of
that
things.
long, yeah.
But at the same time, like, I think Microsoft is just trying to like, hit their, because that was I think the thing that killed Xbox One was the exclusives were,
I think that's just killed Xbox in general, for
Yeah.
sure. Like, you can't compete with Sony's exclusives.
No.
Or Nintendo's.
Yeah, it came out October 27th, 2015.
yeah. So that's
8 years ago.
Yeah, that's a long time.
Yeah. But Halo came out, Infinite came out, what, 2 years ago now?
2021,
it was
I
like
want to say.
So it was 6. So it was
Yeah.
6. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, man, Infinite was fun, but I think they fumbled the bag a little bit with that. Like,
I
just
just
wasn't-
finish the campaign. I was not having fun with the campaign, which is kind of where I knew I was like, this is just going to be like 4 or 5. The multiplayer was still fun, but I just kind of couldn't.
I actually had a lot of fun with the campaign.
Really?
The grappling hook was so fun, dude.
Well, as it's one of the top 5 video game mechanics.
Number 1.
Number 1, even.
According to Tyler. Tyler won that one.
I bullied him.
He bullied me hard on that. I literally
I
had
pushed
to
him down and
wipe the toilet
It happens.
water off of my face.
Yeah.
But wait, so you were saying that you didn't fall asleep during the Lord of the Rings whole marathon?
The whole marathon.
No, I was getting, like I said, I was getting kind of woozy whenever you're just hearing Treebeard just blah,
Right.
blah, blah, blah. I'm just like, man, this is rough.
And there's also no Tom Bombadil. Yeah.
Dude, Two Towers is all Helm's Deep.
Yep.
That's the whole movie.
Mm-hmm.
People do not understand that is, and they consistently say it's the best. I just don't understand.
Yeah, I mean, it's cool.
I don't know. Treebeard's the worst, dude.
Yeah.
David hates that take. He loves Treebeard, but I'm like,
I like Treebeard. I don't like 90 minutes in Treebeard.
yeah, that's too much.
So
If I wanted that, I'd just read the fucking book, man. You know what I mean?
you read?
No,
I didn't know you could read.
I don't. I can't.
But I was gonna say, have you seen the thing that's like Gandalf is actually like an 18 intelligence fighter instead
Way to
of
bring it back. Yeah.
a wizard?
Yes. I say this all the time. The highest level spell he casts is like 2.
I think he like cantrips, really, right? Like
He
light
does
is a
thing-
cantrip.
He does like a oh man, what's it called? One of the spells when he's fighting the Balrog, he slams the staff on the ground. That's something.
Is that like just
Just
divine?
a strong staff and a weak bridge.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. It's probably like
Casting shatter.
Cast shout.
oh man, what is it? There's a something for it, but yeah, I just like whenever he's like fighting with a sword in one of the like in the third
Yeah,
one,
he's-
right? It's like
He's dual. He has a long sword in one hand and a quarter staff in the other. Those are both two-handed weapons.
he's a fighter, dude.
They're
Yeah.
versatile.
He's
They
a
are
fighter.
versatile, yeah.
Yeah.
Staffs aren't.
They aren't.
No.
Yeah, quarterstaff is versatile. I'm playing a monk in Baldur's Gate 3, and it's you can do one-handed or two-handed.
That's what I was going off of, but I
Yeah.
didn't know if it was.
Are
Correct
they
or not.
actually in the game? I guess they must be then.
I was gonna say
I don't ever remember like you could do one hand because you can't dual wield staffs. Staves.
Let me.
Well, you
see.
can only dual wield light things, right? Because a
Yeah,
staff
maybe.
would be one-handed or two-handed, but you couldn't have 2 staves. You could have a staff and then like
A shield.
a light or a shield.
Interesting.
I think I could be. I mean, I am not the.
I'm
way out of my
looking it
depth.
up as we speak.
I don't know. Return of the King's so good. I've been getting
Real-time
like
research.
Aragorn tribute videos. I'm
Yeah,
just
so
like,
that's
this
bringing
dude's
it all the
best.
way back. That's your thing.
He's
You're
just the
getting-
best, dude. The reason he's the best is because he's OP, but he understands the corruption of men, and I love characters like that, where they understand, and that's why he doesn't want to be king, because everything that
fair.
happened. You
That's
know what I
fair.
mean?
Yeah.
It's like he could have all the power. He knows he could dominate,
Yeah.
and then it's that strength that I respect.
Yes.
You with me?
Yeah, and then
And
also you are
Frodo
right.
sucks.
Quarterstaff is not versatile.
No.
Correct.
well, there
Thank you.
Oh, hey.
Point me.
Sure.
Game me.
It's a symbol.
Point game.
If we're doing tennis, it's not over though.
That's not over.
It's the match.
Yep.
That's the whole
That's
thing.
that's the one set.
That's pretty good, Ty.
Yeah.
I work for a sports company. I know a thing.
No
or
one
two.
would know, but
Yeah.
they're actually
So-
been getting better.
So what is it in tennis when there's no score?
With no score, 0-0. I don't know.
Love,
Love.
man. Love
Okay.
means nothing to the tennis
Look,
players.
if
That's why
there's
they're,
if there's love,
spouses.
then
They're all single.
yikes. Okay.
okay, but Baldur's Gate.
Okay.
Baldur's
Okay.
Gate 3.
Baldur's Gate 3. Absolutely.
We've been playing that, right? I mean, I haven't been playing
Wow,
with you
we
guys.
normally segue. We had so many good segues.
We talked
I was
about D&D
really
several
trying.
times.
Yeah.
I was really trying to
Okay.
segue, and
No,
we just kind
go
of
for it.
Well, you just brought up the staff thing, and you're like, oh, it's not versatile. Speaking of D&D,
Yeah, speaking of D&D,
Baldur's
Baldur's
Gate
Gate
3.
3.
Okay. I have 50 hours in this game.
I think I have about 37 right now. 25 of which is in my I'm on my second character. I started off with a ranger beastmaster, and it's not fun actually, just like in regular D&D. So I swapped to I'm a 4 elements monk, so I just pretend I'm the avatar.
There you go. I am playing a Beastmaster with the boys.
Uh-huh.
So I'm like playing with Tyler and Nate and Jeff. I made a elf.
Oh, we're playing.
We played once,
All right.
and then Jeff fell asleep.
And then Jeff just fell asleep. Speaking of,
I was so worried, man.
yeah, so was I. It was like,
ah.
he's asleep. I'm like, okay, but like we're like calling on him.
Yeah,
We're, like, yelling
yeah.
at
What
him.
was he,
Like,
you guys were like just playing, and he just stops responding.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. we were
That's
just sitting there.
alarming.
I know.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was asking for Mrs. Campisi's phone number. I was like, hey, does anyone have her number? Is there a way
Does
we
he
can
live
get
with his
hold of
mom? I thought he had his own place.
Yeah, I don't know. Is there someone can go check on him? You know,
That's a fair point.
So I have 12 hours, but I've started it 3 times total. So I would say I have maybe 4 hours in. So like where we left off in the main group, I've gotten there 2 other times.
Okay.
That's where I'm at.
Yeah, I'm much further than that.
Yeah, I'm sure. I keep making characters and I keep hating them, and I don't know.
Is it the gameplay or the look or?
So it's what I should do is just pick one of the pre-made people, and then take out the custom person altogether. And the more I think about it, the more I think I might end up just doing that but like, do you lose out? So like, if you play Astarion, do you lose out on his
I don't know.
Like cutscenes and talking. And all
I
that
think
stuff?
that's a mistake because I think you might.
Well, that's why I don't do it.
Yeah, I think you might.
Yeah. So it makes me a little nervous to
But what is it
that.
about the custom character that you don't like?
I played a Vengeance Paladin, and I don't like any of the skills or anything, and it's just kind of
Right.
annoying. And I'm doing a Bard now, and he's fine, but already I'm kind of like bored of what he looks like. And I'm just like, man, I wish I didn't go with that beard. I have like this really stupid like entertainer beard and stuff, and like this crazy like mohawk hair and stuff. And I just want to be this like flamboyant performer, and he's really good. But I'm just like, man,
Just change his look.
if I could just tweak his look, if I could just make him not as blonde, like it looks good in the character creation screen, and then you put him in the real world, and his hair is basically just like white, and he looks too much like this is just me, but like you have Astarion's portrait, and then you have I named him Durin portrait, and it's just like they're similar.
You get
And I just-
lost.
I
You're
don't
like,
like
oh
it.
wait, I thought I was up in initiative, and
Nah,
it's
I don't
actually
get
Astarion.
lost. I just hate how like I want to create a character that is completely different than any of the other characters. To my knowledge, that there isn't like a pre-made paladin, right?
No.
Because it's
No,
like you
'cause
have like a sorcerer and a
There's Gale, who's the wizard. There's Shadowheart, who's a cleric. Karlach is a barbarian. Astarion's a rogue. Will is a warlock. And there's Lae'zel is a fighter. So yeah.
yeah.
So you only get 6 out of the 13.
I looked at those and I was like, all right, I can be a paladin. So I'll be a paladin. Not a lot of people of color in the group, so I made a African American dwarf female paladin because I was like, all right, bringing in the diversity,
Yeah.
and then it's not just like 4 dudes. Because I was like, I like all these guys. Like I really hate the one not Githyanki.
Githyanki.
I can't stand her.
Dude, I killed her.
Whoa.
Yeah.
So okay, well, I didn't kill her.
Yeah, when you get out of this, is it a spaceship?
Yeah,
It's
sure.
just a ship.
Oh, the mind flayers.
Yeah.
thing? Yeah.
And you have to go pick everybody up. I got I saved Shadowheart while I was on there, and then I got Astarion and Gale, and then it came up for Lae'zel, and she just really rubbed me the wrong way the entire time we're interacting in the ship. And she's like caught, and I was like, I don't think I'm gonna like intentionally kill her, but if it happens,
Well, that's nice of you.
It is what it is. And then. This was with the ranger, so I had her in my party, and she's just mean to you a lot.
Yeah.
She's demanding.
Yeah, and so whenever I remade my monk, I just actively decided no, I don't even want a chance encountering her later. I was just like,
Oh, you just killed her.
Yeah.
You could have just let her be trapped. You could have just walked by her.
yeah, but then I don't get XP, and then I can't level up better.
How much
Jesus.
XP do you get for killing her?
I think like 40, so not that much.
Yeah.
Wow,
Less than
that's
boss.
like one goblin.
Yeah.
That's brutal, I guess.
Are you past the goblin camp?
Oh, goblin. I'm deep.
You're very far in.
I'm deep.
I'm,
I'm in the middle of Act. I'm either in the middle of Act 2 or maybe close to the end of it. It's hard to tell because there's so much shit in this game.
Are there only 3 acts?
I think so.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm
deep.
The mausoleum, trying to get the general's artifact.
Oh, wow. That's where I'm at.
Oh shit. Okay.
How do I have 20 more hours than you?
I'm gonna bet you've done a lot more stuff. I kind of like cleared out the goblin camp. I didn't go into that like swamp area. I went in there twice, got like wrecked by the hag, and was just like, I'm gonna not go back there again.
I don't even know what swamp area you're talking about.
Well then, damn. Yeah, and right now I'm doing that like Gauntlet of Shar because I was romancing Shadowheart, and it's like important for her to be one of Shar's chosen.
Yeah, Shadowheart's cool.
All right. Well, we're getting into spoiler territory, so
Yeah.
we're gonna.
Oh, yeah. Spoiler.
I'm still working with the tieflings in in the very beginning.
Yeah, I like the tieflings. I thought that was interesting because I like when I play D&D, we kind of get stuck in the main races, quote unquote.
Yeah.
Like a lot of elves and humans and
Yeah.
stuff. So it's nice
Bardo?
that they had like tieflings and things that in my games I have to do a better job of incorporating like more of the world. Like I never have Gnomes. I always just forget gnomes exist.
That's what I'm playing. So my bard is a gnome.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
And
It's a wood gnome.
I need to do way better at like incorporate because gnomes are cool. Like they're like the engineers and stuff, and well, like part of like some of them. And then, but I always have like dwarves if I want that kind of thing. So it's like
Halflings even.
And I do halflings. I try to do halflings, but yeah, no, I just forget about gnomes. It's such a problem. But yeah, and tieflings too and stuff.
I think I go too far in the opposite direction where I have
Yeah, he's got like Gnazi walking around. Like,
Yeah,
we're
I'm
like, what the fuck is going on?
so many Genazi and Goliaths and
Yeah.
Tabaxi and Aarakocra.
But it's cool.
Yeah.
I think that's cool.
You guys are a bunch of nerds. What's okay? So
Not a top 5 candy though.
no,
No.
It's top 5 worst candies.
Makes your teeth hurt.
Yeah.
Yet you love soda, and this is what makes this irks me.
I don't love soda.
You were pushing for it to be on the top 5. I wouldn't have put soda in the top 5.
Put soda on the top 5.
Yes, we did. I thought that was you.
Yeah, it eventually got on there because it was Mountain Dew.
Mountain Dew.
So wait,
Dew.
remind me what the top 5 drinks were. I know water was number 1, right?
Soda was 5, specifically Mountain Dew.
Okay.
4 was a milkshake, specifically cookies and cream.
Are you just drinking milkshakes?
What do you mean? Am I just drinking milkshakes?
Like in your everyday life, or is that not like a treat for you? Or
it's a treat.
Okay, all right.
A treat can be in the top 5. It's a fantastic treat.
That's fair. That's fair.
Milkshakes are great. And the optimal way, I've said this a bunch, I'm going to say it again, the optimal way of eating ice cream.
I agree with you on that.
Transporting ice cream into your body has been optimized through the invention of the milkshake.
Yeah.
I would say it's the optimal way of eating Oreos and drinking milk.
And eating ice cream, and you got a deal.
Yeah, sure.
That's
Okay,
why it's
all
number
right.
4. That's big.
Gotcha.
3 was beer, and we did
Goggle Fogger. I kept calling it Foggy Goggle, which is a beer, but Fathead specifically is
Fathead's-
Goggle Fogger.
Gotcha.
Yeah, we did a Hefeweizen because that's.
I mean,
I personally, it's Guinness for me personally, but
Really?
I love Guinness.
now, I have poor taste because I'll take a Bud Light or a Coors Light any day of the week.
I love Miller Lite. I mean,
Yeah.
look, that's what I picked up.
Right.
Hashtag sponsored, but yeah. No, but I feel like I'm getting like I don't know. If I want like a nice beer, not that Miller Lite's not nice, but like
See, I would do an Iron City.
okay,
Like-
you do
like-
have no taste. That's
I know.
insane.
That's what I'm saying. Like
over
if-
anything.
So light beer is generally what I'm going to go for because like calories and also like I don't generally drink to get drunk. I just have like a beer because I like how it tastes.
Sure.
If I'm gonna try and be inebriated, I would do other things, but we're not going to talk about that because this is a Christian show, right?
This is the
couch?
Christian couch.
Yeah.
We keep floating back. We're very loose with our.
But yeah, if I want something that is tasty, I would say like a plain old Iron City, not an Icy Light. I think Icy Light tastes like dog water.
I actually like Icy Light,
Really?
but that's because we've gotten way off topic.
I'm just letting you guys
yeah,
volley.
shut it up. So this just triggered a flashback in my mind. So back when I was in college, we would play in Oakland.
Yeah.
At the what's the place you play there?
The Pete,
No, there's a stage there. Is it a museum?
the Benedum's not in
Carnegie?
Carnegie Music Hall.
Yeah. That's in Oakland, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay, so we used to play there. There's one in New York. That's the real one,
Right.
which is pronounced Carnegie.
Well, that's wrong.
That's how well, it was first, so they're probably right. And wasn't he from there too?
I thought he was from Pittsburgh, and that was like the whole thing. There's got Carnegie Mellon University. There's like Carnegie as the Carnegie's the neighborhood in like the southwest of Pittsburgh.
You might be right. Anyways, so I used to play there in college, and we would go to Permanis before, and we always played on Wednesdays, and that was their Icy Light special. So Icy Light has a soft spot in my heart. We always used to get it for a concert.
What about Dollar Yings?
Dollar Yings is the best deal on the planet. Maybe, no, it definitely is. But second is Sheet's $1 hot dogs for 2.
Really?
2 hot dogs for $1 Sheets. That might be the greatest deal of all time.
But
besides the Dollar Yingling.
but 32 ounces of Yingling
That's what I'm saying,
for $1
second.
and
Second.
a free cup.
and free cut. They would give us souvenirs. So at Carson City in Southside.
And it was only sometimes. It wasn't always the souvenir cups, but
Yeah, but it doesn't even matter. 32 ounces. That's huge. That's a lot.
Yeah.
Okay. Yingling for $1 every Thursday.
and then $2 Captain Cokes.
Yes.
Yeah.
You have to be losing money on that.
It's probably like a loss leader, you know, like where the Costco rotisserie chickens, where they're like,
Right.
we get you in the doors with the dollar yings, and we assume that you're going to buy other cocktails.
Well, it's even better because you're getting fucked up.
Exactly, and
And
we're
then-
cheap asses,
Yeah.
so we would go in with a $5, get wasted, and then figure out how to get home after that.
Yes. Anyways, a lot of flashbacks.
Yeah, I mean that's
So wait, we were talking about like D&D, right? At some point.
Baldur's Gate. Anyways, so my solo character I am playing, I tried a couple of different things. I originally went with a bard, which I liked, but it just wasn't clicking with me.
yeah.
So I went with a rogue.
Well, that's why I want to play
Human
Astarion.
rogue, because of course, like Calvin was asking me, you go in human fighter. Calvin hates that I always pick humans, by the way. It really irks him.
Humans are good.
I love humans. And here's the thing. I think the reason is because I want to insert myself in the game, and I happen to be a human.
Mm-hmm.
So I understand what that's like. So that's what I put in the game.
Sure.
And then I get to interact with all the elves and the...
Do you
Dragonborn.
metagame it? Do you like make your decisions?
I make my decisions if I was cool.
Okay, I got you.
If I was a cool rogue, roguey guy.
See, I think that everybody's first D&D character is essentially themselves as whatever class they're playing, right?
Yes.
And then you try and, you know, if you're really into role playing, do something else. So like, you know, Hanzo was just me trying to be cool, right?
Yep.
And Kuma was the best bear companion I've ever had in any game. Granted, the only bear companion I've ever had in a game, but he was still awesome. you
Those
know?
statements are true.
Yeah. But yeah, so like I don't disagree with your choice to play human. I disagree with your choice to play default human and not variant.
Well, there is no variant human. I did play variant human.
Really? Because I
Yes.
thought you did the +1 to all stats instead of
no. Well, maybe back then when I played
Right.
Talon.
Yeah.
Maybe, which is a mistake. I agree. Variant human's OP.
because the feat is just
So OP. It's actually
so strong.
might be the best race because of the free feet at the level 1.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I get it.
Feet.
I find humans are kind of boring. Although they have mods out already with
Yeah.
just like a ton of extra like presets and things like that, which is kind of
That's
cool.
awesome.
Well,
Yeah, I
because
think
it was
it's gonna
in
go crazy.
early access for like a whole year where it was
3.
like
Oh yeah,
3.
it was way
Yep.
more than that.
Yeah, so they're I already saw there's I was going to say when we were talking earlier, I think there is a mod to be able to change your appearance in the game.
But does it? So I get a little cagey with mods before I beat a game because it's like, well, does it ruin something? Does it?
Right.
It's something going to get screwed up by using. I get a little weird with that, but
I feel that. I understand.
yeah.
I think I did this for Mass Effect, like when the Legendary Editions came out. I actually looked online. A lot of people will make like presets and give you like the slide. Well, there's no sliders in this one, but they'll give you like what they picked. Those usually look pretty good because they like fiddle with it and stuff.
Yeah, like I think my guy looks good. I think everything looks like. Ironically enough, the only portrait that I think looks bad so far is Jeff's. I don't know why.
His was like what, a dwarf. What is he playing?
I don't.
What was he playing? He
I
was
don't
playing
know.
a-
warlock, maybe.
No, was he a rogue? Was he a dwarf
I
rogue?
don't think so because he had like fire and stuff that he was
Was he a bard?
popping up.
Well, you could be an arcane trickster rogue.
Maybe
He had like a loot on his back. He might have been a bard.
we all had loots on our back though.
Yeah, these
We all
guys
got
are like
loots.
paying to win out here. Like I'm like in the camp, and then next thing I know, they have full suits of armors, a cape, fucking loot, a pet
Yeah.
dragon. It was like so dumb. It's like, oh, we watched a Twitch stream, and I was like, get out of here.
No,
bro.
my Twitch stream was like purple underwear or something. Yeah.
Really?
I wish we could romance each other. That would be cool.
I mean, buddy, we can't. We can't.
Well, yeah,
It's-
that pool
real life,
was.
yeah.
was-
Sorry, baby, I love you. I keep forgetting Chelsea's here.
She's not
She
listening to
wasn't
you.
paying
She's not
attention.
listening to you. Shitty
good.
Shitty Bang Bang is the greatest piece of work.
Yep.
But I don't know. I like my thing is if I could play Astarion, because I would much rather enjoy playing a rogue.
Rogues
Like-
are great.
like-
That's what I'm playing. I love it.
So if I could play a rogue without taking away from the functionality, because I like Astarion so much that I want him on my team. I feel like that's just like that's the Garrus of the party.
No.
No, you know how like everyone
No,
puts
he's
Garrus on.
not.
You know how everyone puts Garrus on the party.
I hate Astarion. He hasn't been in my party once.
Okay, well, fair enough. But
That's why I vehemently
from
vehemently disagree with that.
But from a like helpful standpoint, he is the best talker I have on my team. He can lockpick everything. He can sneak everything.
Right.
Where it's just like, that's how I like to play.
But that's,
so
that's me, though.
Right. So then I can understand that. But
Yeah.
I would play as him, but I don't want to like miss out on character stories.
His story, right.
So I just need to look that up and see. And if I can, then I'll just play him.
Right.
Here's what you do, Way of the Shadow Monk, because then you're essentially a ninja, which is kind of both rogue and monk. I was going to say, I have actually a lot of people multi-classed in my party. I'm doing like pure monk, but I have Asterion with 4 level. Party's level 6 right now, so I have 4 levels in sorcerer, 2 in rogue for him.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I have him built like pure glass cannon.
Yeah.
I have Shadowheart, 4 cleric, 2 paladin. And then I have Will as 5 warlock and 1 barbarian.
Let's talk about why I don't like Baldur's Gate 3. And it's because I have to deal with all of that. And like, that's great for people who want to deal with a million different characters. But
Yeah.
like, I want to take care of like me.
Yep.
Right? I want the gameplay of co-op where I don't have to worry about anyone else except my character and what I'm doing in that moment, right? Everyone else can do their own thing and do whatever. That's totally fine. I don't want to have to like make all these decisions for all these extra characters and everything. That's like too much. So that's kind of like my 2 cents with that. And then as far as like the movement and the difference between keyboard and mouse and controller are so vast where like, do you guys have the search feature where on a keyboard and mouse? Have you done that?
Like when you alt?
You can search an area. No, you can search an area. So here's the thing. You got in the very beginning of the game, there's like a rock, right? And it's just like, oh, there's something in this rock. You have to move the rock. Have you guys moved the rock?
No.
No.
So you don't have the chest in the rock with like all the like 1,600 gold or whatever is worth in there?
No, I don't.
Yeah. So if you have a controller, you press and hold the A button, and this like ring comes out from you,
Yep.
and it's search area. You hit search area, and as long as you perceived that there was something in the rock, it literally shows up everything. Like, here's a chest. Chest is under a rock. You can click on the chest and open it. I still don't know how to do that with a mouse and keyboard. But
You
can
hold
do
down
that with
Alt and it tells you like what
sure,
objects
but
are
you
on.
hold. Yeah, but it doesn't show you what's under the rock.
Yeah, but do you make a perception check? So
Yeah,
normally
it
you
will
make
say like you get a successful check. You know something's under the rock. You can see the rock. You can interact with
yeah,
the
but
rock.
generally mouse and keyboard at least you like if you walk by something that you can perceive, it automatically rolls for you.
Yeah.
Right, and I got the perception check, and I successfully did it.
Oh,
saw
but it
the
didn't
rock.
highlight it. or
Right.
anything.
What I'm saying is it only shows the rock.
Huh.
You have to move the rock out of it. It's too heavy to throw. It's too heavy
I
to push
see.
to do whatever. But if you have a controller, and I found this out just randomly because I was doing it with a controller,
Yeah.
is I would press and held the A button.
Yep.
It did a search in around, and like it's like you press and hold it, and it like slowly grows out.
Yeah, they had that in Divinity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay. And then I got everything under that rock. So I don't know if that's
You didn't
a
have to
bug.
move
I don't
it?
know. No.
Oh, that can't be correct.
I don't
that's
know.
weird.
But that's what I did. So like then
How
I
are you
just,
supposed to move that rock, by the way?
I don't know. I didn't figure it out, but I don't need to because I got everything out of the chest. But that's the thing. Is like, okay, so we do that.
Yeah.
And it's like I love the movement
With the controller. Yeah.
because you're playing like this like third person thing.
Yeah.
But I hate dealing with multiple people. So like the controller is so perfect for co-op, but man, did I miss so much stuff when we were playing with a full party.
Yeah.
Right? Because like I'm going through, I'm like, I missed this cutscene, I got the tail end of this one, I completely missed this one.
Yep.
And then everything was picked over because there's 4 people running around looting everything.
Yep.
So it's just like I don't think a co-op is fun in that game in that you're missing out on. It's basically whoever's first gets it or whoever's quicker gets it or whatever. So like I might be in a conversation, but then while I'm in a conversation, other conversations are happening or people are looting everything. Then I'm done with the conversation, and it's like, okay, well everything's already been like interacted with,
Right.
so to speak.
Yeah.
Which is completely fine because everyone's doing their own thing. But it just feels so disjointed. It feels like I am so out of the loop. Or
Yeah.
you're in the middle of a conversation, somebody, and like this isn't even any fault of anyone in the party, but it's like, oh, I walked in vicinity of this guy, and now I'm in a conversation with him, and it's
Right.
like, well, crap.
Yeah.
Now we're
And you gotta
it's
tell-
too much.
So I think I agree with everything you're saying there. And no fault to you guys. Like I enjoyed playing with you guys very much, but I could tell after that first session, this has to be something I play on my own, so I can really invest myself in it, be immersed, and because the immersion, like I said, immersion for me is super important. And there's so many cutscenes and dialogue and decisions, so it's like, yeah, I want to see all this. So I think the way to do it, and this is just my opinion, you play through the game yourself, finish the game or whatever. And then that second or third playthrough is with the boys.
Yes.
When you all have a kind of an understanding of what generally happens, you might find new things, which is still fun. But that would bother me less because it's like, oh, I remember that. Like, I don't feel like I'm missing out. Like, like you were saying. So I think that's kind of the approach I'm going to take.
That's exactly what Josh and I were trying to play, with the two of us, and it's exactly that. It's like I'm doing these cutscenes, and he's just kind of like standing around waiting for me to finish before like deciding what goes forward.
Yep.
So our plan is once we both finish it, Sarah actually was like, "That looks like fun." So what we're thinking we're gonna do is we're gonna have her do all the things while we escort her through the campaign as like two of the party members.
Oh, it's not a bad idea.
Yeah.
That sounds like fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think you're right. You gotta play it by yourself first, and then come back to it later.
And I think if you do it with the guys, and then that's when you put it on like hardcore mode, or like you
exactly.
like bump it up where it's like, okay, you got to be like,
Then you min-max.
it's more
and
tactical, and like
Yeah.
you're
not focused on the story at that
You're
point.
buffing the party. You're
Yes.
making sure that everyone is covering everyone else's weakness and strengths.
That would
and
be
stuff.
fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, but dude, the game's been like a blast. I've been obviously loving it a lot. One of the complaints that I actually had is with the romance stuff. So you can romance anyone, which is great. You know me, I love my romance options. That's one of my top game mechanics, as the people know. The problem with this game is, it's funny you spoke of Garrus. What made Garrus great, it was the best bromance of all time. And it's like, you just have your buddy or whatever. Anytime I'm trying to be nice to someone, they think I want to fuck them. And I'm just like, dude, can we just be friends? Can we just be bros? Because it's like, it's either, yeah, I'm going to fuck you, or no, eat shit and die, loser. Like, there's no middle ground like, hey, man, let's just be friends.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, I hate that.
Dude, for real. Like I said, I was romancing Shadowheart, and we that like festival with the druids. Without getting into too much more details.
Like early on?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like Gale is like, hey, I want to show you something, and I'm like, I thought we were just friends.
Yeah,
I'm
same.
not quite trying to see what magic you're showing me.
It's a magic show.
Yeah.
But if you go with Gale, that doesn't screw up your path with anyone else.
So I was reading that it depends on which person. So like Lae'zel and Karlach don't care. They're just like, let's doink it out. But like Shadowheart and Asterion even are like looking for something like a committed relationship. So
Interesting. Yeah, I know there were some instances where you could bedoink some people.
Here's a problem.
Multiple people.
So while I hate my character right now,
Yeah.
boy, do I love the Guardian I made. I made this like
Oh,
this elven goddess.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, man, that's like, it was just like, it looked so like the whole shebang.
Yeah.
I was like, this is such a cool looking character, like so interesting and stuff. I'm like, I don't even know what a Guardian is, but you make your character
You made the Guardian
or
so
whatever.
you could bedoink her?
No, it was a randomized character.
Oh, really?
And
Interesting.
the only thing I did was I added like almost like a white tattoo thing.
Yeah.
But it looked like a character straight out of Destiny, which is just like a weird like light blue skin. I'm just like,
Cool.
yeah. I was like, okay, cool.
I'm
Like I
ready
want
to-
to play as that
I'm-
person.
Yeah.
You know, like, I
Let me
don't-
play as the Guardian.
yeah.
So wait, so speaking of character customization, which dick did you guys choose?
D.
E.
E, really?
I think so. That's the last one, right?
Yeah.
I chose E.
I went with C.
I don't even remember which ones they
That
are.
was like that was the cut, no pubes.
nice.
They
Christian Couch.
they reset that. Nothing else resets except that. So that's why Thok got screwed up whenever I was making
What do you mean
Thok.
reset?
So if you change the character and then go back to it, all the other stuff that you chose stayed.
Except for your dick.
Except your dick. So I was like, oh, all my choices are here. So I didn't think to undress him just to double check the downstairs and make sure that it was exactly what I chose.
Always got to double check the downstairs.
But it goes back to default. Chelsea's gone, right?
Yeah, she gone. Too much dick talk.
Yeah. So
That really perturbed you.
it really did. Well,
Because Thok's
honestly,
naked a lot.
Thok is just naked all the time. The thing is, I can even get around that, but his voice sucks.
Yep.
Like they have some good voices, good actors, all that stuff, but like it's
They somehow all sound the same.
Like they're all the same.
Yeah. Like you would think, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but you would think they have like an old dude if you want to play like an old wizard.
Exactly.
Like,
And you sound like this, you generally sound kind of old.
100%.
like if you make an old wizard dude,
You don't expect him to sound like this.
exactly. So it's like
I would have
don't like
I would
that.
have even taken the lazy ass Harry Potter approach and just tone it
One
down.
guy and- yeah.
just drop it a couple
I
octaves.
wish there was an option to no voice. That would be
it
better.
basically is no voice.
Yeah, but like when he says the stupid things, it takes you out of it. If
Yeah,
you're not,
that's
you
fair.
know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So it's like just no voice.
Well, and especially as you're walking through the world, that's the only time I ever hear my character's voice. I
Yes.
go to interact with an item and he's like, "Curse to put my hands on everything," and I'm like,
Yeah, my guy
for
says that a
one,
lot.
stop complaining,
Yeah.
and two,
Yeah.
shut up.
Yeah, but
I just need to stick with it because the problem is I'm going to keep replaying the intro until I get so sick of it that I'm like, I'm never playing this game.
that's what happened with Divinity.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think Bard's the answer, maybe. Unless you want something straightforward, then you should just play like a fighter.
No, I just play Asterion the entire time.
Yeah.
Like I'm literally just controlling him and talking with him and doing.
I
like,
guess you just play as him though. I just don't know if you miss his story because, like, think about it. How it generally works is like you'll have cutscenes with those characters about their background, and then they have specific quests that you go on.
Right.
So I'm sure you could still go on the quests, but how do you know about his background? I guess they have a little thing you can read.
Yeah,
I don't
which
know.
I think that was even a little overplayed. Like I was like, Astarion's kind of.
I don't like Asterion.
Yeah, I guess
I'm like shocked that he's like one of the fan favorites. Actually,
I guess I could make a character.
What?
And,
Oh, I was going to say on their
research department. It's nice to have him just.
yeah,
right here
he's
in real
clicking
time.
away at the corner.
They put out their community notes today for like the first week, and it says almost 100,000 players have been rejected by Asterion.
Yeah, because he's a piece of shit. I can't stand this guy. I just don't understand why people like him so much.
Are you able to look up if what happens if you play as him?
So what they suggested was doing your own custom character the first time and then picking one of the pre-mades to play through the second time.
I think you should do the custom.
So I do a custom, make him, and then just stash him in the camp.
Yes.
Sure.
Yeah.
93% of players rolled a custom character.
Yeah, I think you. I definitely think you have to.
Yeah.
No, you don't have to, but I think it's a better experience. Like that seems like the true experience to me, quote unquote, because it's all about you interacting with everyone else. Yeah.
Right.
So it's.
I would just like
it's
to
my thought.
interact as Asterion.
I just make a rogue, dude. I'm
Yeah.
telling you, rogues are great.
I just like playing through all of them. That's what I have the most fun doing.
Like playing charisma is so important because like I want my guy to be the leader of the party and he's the face. He talks to everyone.
Which is why the bard's so good.
exactly.
But he can't
Oh
do
my
any of the like.
the bard's so OP. Did you
Yeah.
get friends? The cantrip. So there's a cantrip where when you're doing like a persuasion or any charisma check, you get advantage. So you get advantage. You get bless or whatever from Shadowheart.
Yep.
You get all your bonuses, expertise. You can't fail a check.
Yeah.
You can convince everyone to do anything.
There, like Asterion gets like he has like 6 bonuses whenever I'm trying because it's like I walk up to all those doors that we went to in the beginning where it's like, oh, here's like a broken down mausoleum or whatever. It's like, oh, a lockpick of 20. And I'm like,
easy.
whatever.
Yeah.
Because it's like 6 of these. So it's like Shadowheart's buffing me.
Yep.
I'm buffing Asterion.
Yep.
He has like 4 different things. I'm getting like 30s. They're just like easy.
That's awesome.
Like it's nothing.
So speaking of the dice rolls, do you guys have karmic dice turned on or off?
On.
What does that mean?
So if you roll bad too many times in a row, they'll intentionally give you a good roll and vice versa. So if like you're on a hot roll streak, they'll intentionally give you bad ones. So I turned that off.
Don't have that on. Is that
It's on
It's
by
on by
default,
default.
Yeah, so you thought you were gonna like, but here's the thing, and this is where it's like
I don't like that.
I don't like that. But then Larian came out and said, "Well, think of it as being a nice DM. Where like if you were playing like and I was just rolling nothing but just ones and now granted I think that's fun, so it's like it's whatever. But if you're feeling down or dejected or whatever, it's like a nice DM's like, okay, well here, like we can fudge it, or we can tweak
I like
some
that
stuff or whatever.
Yeah.
And see, I feel like that'd be another good thing because, you know, when you're trying to get through the story, obviously you want successes to happen. So when you're playing through by yourself the first time, I would definitely keep karmic dice on, and then maybe whenever, like you're saying, doing like a hardcore playthrough with the boys afterwards, turn it off, and then you just get
That feels bad though when things go wrong.
Yeah, but
on the
it,
die,
but
and
it forces you to
restart.
keep that in mind, where it's
Yeah.
like, okay, we need somebody that can help buff this
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
this is, and then you have
But
to
a one's a
stay-
one.
a 1 is a 1.
right? But even to that point, then that's when you have a halfling, because then they automatically will re-roll.
Halfling
So it's like
rogue as your
So if
100%.
you have to take all those into consideration if you're doing a hardcore, where it's like, okay, cool, like you're gonna be a halfling rogue. Okay, we know that we're gonna go into this thing.
yeah.
Tyler, you're up. Go
Yeah.
do X, Y, Z.
Yeah.
Like that, I could wrap my head around that. I know
I like that.
Nate's like gritting his teeth right now. He's like, that's what I wanted to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, it's
No, it's
Are you guys interested in hearing the stats, all these stats for the opening weekend?
yeah, hit it up.
So 368 players have managed to finish the entire game.
Cheaters.
That's few
I know. I would have figured it'd be a lot more.
because it's a 800,000 people I think
concurrent. Yeah.
concurrent.
Yeah, but that was in how many days?
In the opening weekend.
Yeah. So
Oh, never mind. Okay.
300 people
Sure.
mainline it.
That's
or
like
cheated.
Diablo numbers.
Yeah.
That's like Diablo. What is it, level 60, 80,
100.
100? That was the statue thing?
Yeah.
They had to get to
level
100?
100, yeah.
Damn.
I can't believe people did that.
Yeah.
That's a lot of
Yeah,
level
on
because
hardcore.
halfway is like what, 80?
Yeah.
Fuck that.
80, 84, something like that, yeah.
Fuck that.
Let's see. Players spent a combined 88 years in character creation.
Wow. Well, that makes sense actually. Yeah.
10% of players spent at least an hour making their character.
That surprises. There's not enough option.
Yeah.
Really? Really? There's no
out-
sliders.
Out of my,
There's no sliders.
I know, if there were sliders, it'd be even worse.
I can't wait for Starfield.
I'm
Tell me how
actually-
long Starfield
Oh, I know.
takes.
I'm actually happy that there aren't sliders because I think that actually would be.
You'd be there all day.
Yeah, it'd be really.
but you
bad.
like that though.
I do, but I like the idea that your character's going to look good no matter what. I haven't made a bad looking
Yeah.
character. I just
Sliders
don't
is
like
dangerous
them.
territory 'cause you can make things
It
look-
never looks good.
I think it does, but it's very. This is why I did that for Mass Effect because those specific presets that people have found and tweaked look
Oh,
pretty good.
fair enough. Okay.
But it is. It's like searching for treasure. Like you gotta get it just right.
yeah.
Oh man.
Then the origin characters, Gale is the most popular.
It's. Wait. Oh, Gale.
Yeah, Gale.
Gale.
Gale's good.
Oh, I love Gale. Yeah,
Yeah.
Gale's great.
He
Until
was
he
also
wants to show me a
the
magic trick.
7th most popular, most common cause of death. So it's things that are killing players. 7th on that list is Gale.
Huh.
Friendly fire.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
Race choices. Half elf is number 1. Do you want to guess?
What's the first cause of death? Falling.
It doesn't say.
Oh.
It says 12% of deaths were caused by friendly fire.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Number 1 race choice is half elf. Do you want to guess what the least one is?
Human? No, it can't be human.
halfling.
Humans up there.
Humans too.
Humans too.
Halfling would be
Halfling
my
is
guess.
second from the bottom.
Okay.
Half orc?
No, Gith Yankee is the.
That makes
is the
sense.
Dude, they're
least one.
so unlikable, man.
Yeah.
They suck. They're villains in like the game. Like they're evil, I think.
Yeah.
Then it says Scratch has been petted over 750,000 times.
That's not enough. Everyone should pet him once, so it should
Right?
be 800K minimum.
It should be.
That's disgusting.
I mean, it's just 50K people not doing it.
That might be spoilers, so I'll stop there.
Well,
But
I was gonna say I'm one of
Yeah,
those
yeah.
people because I don't know who you're talking
yeah.
about.
It's just a dog.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Players spent over 1.4 million. They spoke to over 1.4 million corpses, over 2.4 million animals, and then
Talking to animals is very important.
it's fun too.
It's hilarious, but also there's like some things you get where it's like, what the fuck?
Do you have to burn a spell on that, or is there like a way to just get that?
It is a spell, but
So like my
it lasts
bard
the whole
has
day.
that.
It lasts, so you just cast it in the morning and
Yeah.
forget about it.
So like
That's the nice thing
my
about it.
wood gnome, that's what they get. They
Yes.
get that spell.
Yes.
So I was like, okay, well I'm gonna pick that because that makes
So
sense.
like I have a routine. Like every day we wake up, I'll cast like mage armor on Gale. Speak with
so
animals.
mage armor lasts throughout
whole
too?
day exactly,
Yeah,
which
okay.
is such a nice touch because in
Yeah.
the game it's like X
8
amount of hours, which is pretty much the whole day. But it'd be nice just to not have to worry about it, like until you long rest.
Yeah.
And then, like it said, it was 1,225 years or is like the total player time spent in this game over 1 week.
1,000.
1,225 years.
Yeah, it's a lot of time.
Yeah. And then the last stat we have here is class choice. Now, I thought we had a top 5 that we were doing this week, but we are running kind of long. So
We got time for a top 5. There's
Okay.
only 12 choices.
13.
Yeah.
So do I want to read off this stat before we discuss, or do we want to
Will that
wait?
influence our decisions? No, I won't. Read them
No.
up. Actually, let me guess. Number 1. Shit, you go first. I don't know. I actually have no idea.
I would say
Number
number
one.
number one is going to be either warlock or druid.
Paladin.
I was gonna guess.
What?
I was gonna guess.
Actually, Druid's second from the bottom.
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
Druid's not popular. Fighter 2.
Sorcerer 2.
Where's Fighter? Top 5?
7.
So no.
Barbarian top 5?
Barbarian is 6.
Dude, what the fuck?
How are people playing this game? Like,
Rogue?
the reason why
4?
I picked druid
Rogue
was like
4.
Oh, I called Rogue
Yeah,
4 though.
sure.
I called
Okay.
Rogue 4 though.
Warlock. What are we saying? Warlock?
5?
3.
Okay, top 3.
Bard is 5.
Bard 5. Okay.
Uh,
Wizard low.
Wizard.
Shocking.
So Ranger is 8. Wizard is 9. Monk is 10. Druid
makes
is
sense.
11, and Cleric is 12. Cleric is the
Cleric
least
being
popular,
12 is shocking
Yeah.
because Cleric is so busted.
right?
Wow, that's surprising.
Yeah.
I understand nobody likes playing druids for some reason. Although Nate he made 2 druids.
The
Devin's
druids are
druid.
cool. Like you can
Huh?
you can
Devin's
make
druid.
whatever you want.
A Cade?
Yes, dude.
Yeah.
Cade, what a guy.
That was cool. We did like we were like in a thieves guild, but he was a druid and it was so broken because he would just turn into like a rat and like
Yeah.
sneak in, and
Yeah.
that's like so OP.
Yeah.
But it's actually a really funny incident because you were talking about Halfling Luck. That was one of the most influential series of like 2 critical failures and then followed by a critical success in like our history of playing D&D.
Yeah.
Because he rolled
overpowered.
double 1s on his stealth check. And then I was like, I'll give this one opportunity. I'll have the guard do a perception, and he rolled a natural 20. And I was like, well, obviously I can't ignore this rat that's like, even though it's the middle of a courtyard, it's 2 natural 1s followed by a nat 20. And that just
Anyone
kinda-
keeping track at home, that's like a 1 in 8,000, by the way.
Yeah,
Chance
that's
of happening.
so insane.
Still salty about it.
yes.
It ruined the whole campaign.
Yeah,
that
yeah.
series of event, it was a powder keg where it's like the whole game we
Yeah.
all died.
That was World War One, bro.
rough. It was. That was the Archduke.
Yes.
Anyways, top 5.
Top 5 D&D classes.
Yes.
Okay.
So Calvin has decided. It has been spoken that we always ask the guest if they want to do a top 5, and then they choose a topic. He wants to do top 5 D&D classes on topic.
Sorry,
So-
we are doing top 5. Nate sent us a bunch of pros and cons too.
Oh, yeah,
okay,
sure,
we
sure,
wanna-
sure.
Okay.
Yeah,
let's,
yeah.
let's hear what Nate
I
says.
should have said that earlier.
You're good.
So for the pros, he said the story is strong so far.
Okay.
Companions are mostly likable and paying attention to a lot of details. And it feels like a D&D campaign, which we all agreed with. I mean, that it if nothing else, it should give DMs like ideas,
Oh,
or like
yeah,
it
big time.
visualizes ways of like, oh, okay, like for Thok, I'm just gonna be picking up and throwing things from now on. Like that's all I'm gonna be
Yeah.
trying to do, which I think is pretty cool. His cons are actually a little bit longer. So he gave me a paragraph of pros, but the cons, he hates the companions' backstories.
Wow.
They're too good at level 1.
I agree with that, but my contention with that is it would be boring otherwise. Like I totally agree. Like in a D&D game, you should have as little backstory as possible. That's my philosophy.
Yeah.
Because like the
Which, you know, I
game is
agree
going to
with
be
that.
your back. What?
You know, I agree with that 100%. Yeah.
But in a video game sense, it's like, can you imagine if you just met this? Oh, I want to be a wizard, and I haven't done anything. It's like,
Yeah.
you have to uncover their lore.
It
That's
depends
kind of
on,
part of
on
it.
how you meet them and what they're doing and different things like that.
I personally, I just think it would be very much less interesting if they were They had no experience, no things. And part of it, I think, is I don't know if they talk about it in the game at all, but the fact that you have like the tadpole and stuff, you know, you could use that as like, oh, it's influencing your abilities, like it's making you weaker or whatever, because it's, you know.
Yeah, or it's giving you
Whatever.
amnesia, and you're slowly
Sure.
unraveling
Yeah.
your backstories, and everyone is unraveling their backstory, maybe even including you. Like you find out like kind of what you're about.
Yeah.
But, and then he said the scope of the game starts out too high, and you should get infected mid-game instead of the beginning. I could see that as well. I think the main thing for me is I find it hard to care about D&D campaigns a lot. Like I was just like, okay, like what's my motivation? Why am I like the threat of death or the threat of turning into a, you know, like Cthulhu
Monster.
thing?
Yeah.
Like, I could see where that
That's
would
a good,
maybe
that's a
motivate
good
it.
hook.
Yeah.
Also, I think, sorry, I just
No,
have
yeah.
a thought on that, is you can play, you can be bad. So there's a whole path you can go down where you're evil. And I think that's a really interesting concept where you have this in your head and you're trying to get rid of it theoretically, but you could lean into it actually, and now you have a totally different angle on the campaign.
And that is a thing, or you say it should be a thing?
It is.
Oh, okay.
It
nice,
is.
Nice.
Wait. So leaning just leaning into the
Yes,
thing
yes,
is
you
making,
can.
It's
I
making,
don't know if that's spoilers or I don't think it's spoilers because, like, you know, I want people to be aware that you can do that.
Yeah.
So yeah,
so that's making me evil.
no, not necessarily.
Okay, I was
but
like,
you can be
Right.
So there's like the absolute cult or whatever.
Yeah.
And like a lot of the time you're like infiltrating, and you know that's what I'm doing at least. Like I'm pretending to be one of them, and then you know that's how I figure things out. But you can just go with it.
Hey, these guys make a lot of good points.
Yeah, no. So that's like I haven't explored it, but like I've seen things where like you can go down that route, which I think is cool. And all I'm saying is that allows you that option.
Yeah.
Kind of.
That's when you become a Gith Yankee whenever you're playing on hardcore
my
and you just start getting.
Well,
out of
no,
hand.
because Gith Yankee
it's
hate
an ultimate
the-
fighter.
hate the mind flayers.
Yeah, that's how.
They're like
that's-
mortal enemies.
Right. Well, that's how corrupted of a Gith Yankee you are. Not only are you an
my
asshole, but now you're.
That cuts deep.
Yeah. And then he said that the developer said if you play 4-player co-op, that you shouldn't worry about the companions, as their purpose is to be with you on your journey in order to progress.
Can you fuck people if you're playing 4-player co-op?
I assume you could.
Like obviously not the other players, but like the NPCs.
I don't
No?
know if the romance options are tied to
I don't think
progressing
so.
their storylines. Like it's not like Mass Effect in that regard.
I don't think so because they're all like aware of what's.
Yeah, and like they're
Going
leveling
on.
up too, right? Like when
Yeah.
everyone levels up,
Yes.
everyone's leveled up, which is awesome.
Yes.
That is nice.
very nice.
I was gonna say the only thing I can think of is I know it's tied to like certain events in the main campaign because the romance with Shadowheart, the first romance scene can't happen until something with the druids happens.
It's fair.
So
Yeah, but as long as you're progressing the game, you go back to camp and you talk with them.
right,
I think you should still be able to because you're still completing these objectives,
that's true.
The only
and
thing
then
you're not
they
doing
know
is-
about it. It's not like they're in the dark about it.
Yeah, and like the only thing you're not doing is like their side quests.
Yeah, they're not there to like talk about it and be
Right.
like, "Oh no, I can't believe this happened." but you like debrief after. It's like Normandy.
I think theoretically you should be able to.
I think so. That's all I care about.
What else does Nate have to say?
Last thing is he came across one mission where they railroaded him into an event and it felt bad. So like don't give the option to prevent X if you're going to make it happen anyway.
Right. Okay, that makes sense.
now-
I don't know what he's talking about. But
Neither
that-
do
yeah.
I, but
Yeah.
also like are you 100% sure that you're railroaded into that event where it's like
Yeah.
okay, but if you had a different character, if you picked a halfling and you were a halfling bard that was holding this chalice, like
Yeah.
could you
Yeah.
have
Yeah.
stopped it? So like that
Well,
would be
here's the
interesting.
option too. So it's like if let's say you're in some sort of event where it's like two options, you got to pick like Ashley and Caden situation. In this game, if you look in the bottom left hand, you can switch characters and go cheese something. You can attack them. So you can just attack them
Yeah.
at any point in the conversation. So like if that's what's stopping you, there is a button for that.
Yeah. Well,
so
that's what I mean.
I
like-
love it's like literally you can do almost anything.
but it's also Nate. I'm sure he's tried a million different things.
You're
so
right. He's thought
there
everything.
is-
Yeah, right.
like,
He probably knows.
But
Yeah.
I agree. Like, don't give a choice if you're not gonna
Yes.
make that choice actually
Yes.
mean something.
Right.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've just had a great. This is the last thing I'll say is like, I think there's so much creativity you can have with that. And there's like some things where like I must have been like under leveled because it was like, dude, I am getting my ass kicked, and I kept reloading and reloading. And it was like, okay, I got to cheese the shit out of this. And it was like I would do these super creative things where I'm like, oh, I'm just talking to him, and then I hold person and beat the shit out of him, or like I gather all these explosive barrels from another part of the map and then just place them around and just blow everyone up. So I don't know. I think it's really fun.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever like save scummed in my life until this game.
I save scum the fuck out of it, and I usually am against that, but I'm
Yeah.
like, I don't know why. I just do it in this game.
Yeah, it's fair.
Well, because
It's
that's
just fun.
not going to say when, but like that spectator fight, I was just constantly getting my shit pushed in by that thing, like the beholder type thing.
Oh, sure.
Yeah,
Kind of spoilers, but
that's just, I'm just like, I'm not saying when it happens.
yeah,
or what
but
the
now we know
context
what's there.
Oh,
that
no,
was
there's
tough
a hard
fight.
boss.
That was a
Like,
tough fight. Yeah.
hard. Oh well, yeah. There's a hard boss. What a spoiler.
Yeah, but the creature.
Okay,
That's
fair
a
enough.
that's a pretty recognizable
Sure,
figure, right?
sure, yeah.
Anyways,
Sorry, Tyler.
No,
No,
I don't
it's
think
fine.
Tyler cares.
I don't.
But
I mean, I at the end of the day, I think the reason why I'm so not upset about the characters or whatever, but it's just like I want to have a really good playthrough that I'm connected to,
Yes.
and like I was really connected to Thok, but I can't make Thok in this game.
Can't make Thok in this game.
So now what do I do? And I think the choice is, after playing it, multiple times, is like, okay, well, if I'm just playing Astarion this entire time, either I'll just
make
be
Astarion,
him, or
yeah.
I'll make a custom one that's literally him.
Right.
I would just insert yourself. Insert yourself into the game.
I think that's what I'll probably end up doing, because like my bard's fine, and
I think you could
really
make a character that kind of looks like you.
you can.
You have all the
Ish.
features.
Yeah, you can get the
Ish.
beard and the short hair.
You might look a little older. For some reason, like the humans look older.
yeah, the humans in the half.
I do not like the human
halflings,
presets
Yeah,
very much. Just
You
like
don't age
eight,
well.
Yeah, they're 8 faces, and then like
and like their head's still small, but you can make them
Yeah.
a big body, but the head's
Yeah.
still tiny.
Yeah,
It's just-
exactly,
it's a
yeah.
little off.
Dude, I feel that way with my tiefling. I'm like, my head is weirdly small for how like big and brawny I am.
But
Yeah.
like, why would you make a human? I know you did, but you always do human. But like, why would you make a human rogue whenever you have like? Why wouldn't you do an elf that has like the longbow
because I
specialty?
love human rogues.
No, I know, but like,
Just- I don't know what to tell you.
objectively, like,
Oh, yeah, sure.
elf is better, right? Like, that's
Yes.
just okay.
Well, the best class for rogues is probably a halfling.
No.
Okay.
Yes,
I
you're
don't-
right, but no. And I hate,
Okay,
like,
okay.
honestly, with the halflings, the thing
You
that
don't think
annoys
so?
me
I'm, like,
is
trying
how
to think
slow
of-
they are.
You'll never fail a conversation.
Yeah.
You'll never fail a conversation. Like, because eventually with expertise, you just get so good at skills where it's like, as long as I don't roll a 1, I'm going to get over 20.
Well, gnomes, you like double the expertise.
Really?
Gnomes?
Yeah, a gnome. I
did not know
I think
that.
a rock gnome. It was like you double your expertise of it's something
Expertise
like
is already double.
no, I know, but it's like history or something.
Oh, yes.
it's
If you're
not- it's
talking
like
about,
a-
well, so like for dwarves, it's like rocks. Your rock, like if history
Your
checks
rock
with
knowledge.
rocks.
No, like this
it's
is
like
just
doubled.
straight history check, but it's
Just
like
history.
it's double.
Interesting. Okay. Didn't know that.
Yeah,
That's cool.
unless I read it wrong, but that's the way I understood.
See,
it.
I was gonna say I don't think from a pyramid maxing standpoint, I don't think halfling because you don't get an intelligence bonus because the 2 stats that you're using most often as a rogue are dexterity and intelligence. So you want to have somebody that has.
Disagree. I think it's Dex and Charisma.
You might be right.
Well, for me, I mean, it depends how much you role play with them, right? Like,
True.
I'm always like, if I'm playing a rogue, I'm the face of the party, so I'm always talking. So that's your persuasion, deception,
Yeah.
all of that stuff.
Yes. Then Lightfoot halfling, you get
That's-
+2 dex,
exactly.
+1 charisma.
Although I will say the new stuff. So what they've been doing is they've been updating a lot of the classes, so you get like, you can really just insert it anywhere because they want it to be more loose.
Yeah.
Kind of like what your complaint was, like, oh, if I play a dwarf, I'm like locked into being like a cleric or like a
Yeah.
whatever because like it just makes too much sense. So like as they've been updating, it's like you get +3, put it wherever you want, but you can
Yeah.
only put +2 as the max
Yeah. You get a +2 and a +1.
and a
you
+1,
can put it in
or
whichever
you can
scores
do
you want.
single +1s
Yeah.
for 3 different, which is cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, I like that.
Can you wipe your entire abilities and put them in whenever you want?
Yeah.
Because you can't do an 18 to start. I think 17 is the highest, right?
In the game
17
or
to
in the game?
start.
Yeah.
Yes,
the game.
correct.
Yeah. Okay.
In real life, it's up to your DM.
Yeah.
Anyways,
But hey,
talking
top
about
5 class.
yeah, talking about real D&D.
So how are we saying like top 5, like best as in like most useful, most fun, our favorites? What are we going for? Because I have 2 lists depending on what our criteria is and what we're going for.
So the tough thing with that, I mean, we could do it however you want. My thought was it should be this kind of on paper the best one.
Okay.
Like min max.
I think so, because like the problem is every class is good,
Has different-
and you
yeah.
could, if you're a good role player, you could have a really good role player doing, I don't know, say Bard and Druid, just whatever. But like, if Druid is technically like bad on paper, you could have somebody just
Really
make
like,
something
run with
amazing
it.
out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Agreed. I will say some of my arguments are like ease of entry for like newer players.
That's fine.
So I kind of like give a points to that because it's like simplistic. So like it can be fun for someone who struggles with maybe some more complicated mechanics. But
We can just kind of take it as we
Yeah,
go.
you want to do it loosey goosey?
loosey goosey?
we'll do loose. Yeah, that's our best style.
All right.
All right.
Alphabetical?
And we're doing just main classes, correct?
So we
So no
have
subclass. We're not listing the subclasses.
I was gonna say, I mean, we could make like subclass arguments for the overall class, but I think we're talking just
the class as a whole.
yeah, and
So we're considering all subclasses within it. Yeah. Okay.
right. And so then to go, it's paladin, sorcerer, warlock, rogue, bard.
It's not alphabetical.
That's not alphabet. That's exactly what I thought too.
yeah.
I was
All right.
expecting
Sorry,
artificer.
here.
No,
Let
no,
me
go ahead.
artificer, barbarian, bard,
Wait,
cleric.
yes, you're good. No, he was not good. Barbarian goes
Oh,
before bard.
Barbarian.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Wait.
Um,
yes.
Yeah, because
B,
BARB.
D.
Yeah.
Because
Cleric.
it goes to the fourth letter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is nuts.
BAR. It's off by 2. All right, keep going.
Druid, and then fighter.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, fighter, monk.
You worked at GameStop, right? Like you
I did.
alphabetized games.
I did. I
Spirit
didn't
did
work
this in
it.
your
I didn't work very long. I don't
Okay,
know
all
if
right,
Kyle has
fair
ever
enough.
told you the story
No.
about how I was late all the time.
Okay.
Yikes.
But yeah, and then we're including artificer.
Yep.
All right, cool. So who wants to start?
You.
All right.
Hit us up with the artificer.
I'm actually I'm not an artificer stan. I'm gonna say I think that sorcerer is probably my favorite to play. So I'm putting sorcerer on the list personally.
Okay, that
Wow.
was a detour.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like artificer. Sorcerer's number 1, by the way. I've never played an artificer. I think the concept is extremely cool.
What is it?
So
For
an
people who don't
artificer,
know.
there's a couple different routes you can take, but essentially they're engineers, but they utilize engineering through magic. So one of the routes you can go is like potion making, which I always thought was extremely fascinating. I remember making like a wizard and stuff, but like talking with my DM and being like, dude, can we like come up with some custom rules for me to like brew potions and stuff? And I'll just be this like potion master. So that's essentially artificer, one of the routes. That's the one that most connects with me. I think that's cool, like making all these potions for like situations. Then you feel like Batman when you hand someone like anti-shark repellent potions. Like
Yeah, right.
feels so good.
Right.
There's a gunpowder one, which I think is cool, so you can make guns.
Wasn't I an artificer when we did the one shot?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So there's like generally magic
but we
weapons.
didn't get magic.
Yeah, we weren't allowed to
You
have
weren't able to
magic,
utilize
but
it.
I picked an artificer.
Yeah. I forget what the other one is, but those are the two that stand out
The
to
one
me.
it's like a kind of a beastmaster, but it's like with automata. Like
Oh yeah, you can make like mechs. Yeah.
yeah.
Like animated armor and stuff, I guess.
Yeah. And okay. So
I think it's
artificer.
really cool. I think it's like unique and they're interesting too because they can be tanky.
Yeah.
But there's still utility as well. So there's a lot of utility they can get with that. They're obviously magic casters, which are extremely strong in Dungeons and Dragons.
I looked it up because I was just watching people argue for an hour online.
as people do.
Yeah, and they were saying Artificer is great as far as like, hey, you're like frontline. So here's the chart.
Oh, whoa.
But it was based off of frontline damage, investigator, explorer, utility, negotiator, and support.
Yep.
And they said that artificers were great frontline, investigation, utility, and support.
Yep.
They were okay on damage, and they weren't very good on exploring and negotiating.
Right.
So,
Interesting.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen charts like that. I think they name them a little bit differently, like tank, healer, face is for like charisma stuff.
And that's your negotiating versus like
Damage. AoE is a different one, which is actually interesting because you want to differentiate between the two. Like, for example, fighters high damage, but not good AoE.
No.
Right.
You're like single target.
Exactly. So, anyways. So, yeah, I actually like Artificer. I don't know if it's top 5, but I would actually consider it because I think it's very unique and cool.
Yeah.
We could put it on the maybes.
Maybes.
That's just my opinion.
Right.
I've
No,
never
I agree.
played one, so grain of salt from me, but I've always, the potion one in particular just really interests me.
Yeah.
I like that
that's
concept.
That's a cool idea. It's something novel.
Yeah, just like being prepared for any situation and like.
I think though that kind of, I mean, we're talking about like real life D&D, right?
Yeah.
Because I think then it comes sort of down to how you do magic, right? So default, there's components, which is obviously where you'd want your potions and things like that, because you're going to be collecting things as you go along. You're picking the mushrooms, grabbing the moss, things like that.
Yeah.
But then there's like I generally am like, okay, unless it's an expensive thing, as long as you have a magic focus,
That's in the rules.
yeah. And so
Unless it has a gold amount, you have a focus, you don't have to expend components.
right. And so I'm saying with generally it's one style or the other. I'm not talking about like straight rules. It's just DMing
I
things.
see.
And
Okay.
so I think that is one weakness of the Artificer, is that if you are in like ingredients don't matter unless it costs money, then you're gonna lose the granularity that you would enjoy with like a potion master type thing.
Well, it depends. I think some people might like that. Like, think about people who are just min-maxing. They're like, oh, I just get free potions. Like, that's
true.
That's awesome. But yeah, I think, but that's the cool part where you can have that dialogue with your DM, and yeah, maybe you could make custom things. Maybe you like talk about, hey, if you find different potions in the world, you can like a wizard can learn spells. Like you can learn different potions and incorporate. That might be part of it. I don't actually know, but that would be like a cool incorporation where you can expand on it as well.
I'm just thinking of like a chef artificer where it's like, to figure out what this potion is, you like take a sip and you're like,
Just die.
I think there's wolfsbane in this,
Yeah.
That'd be
Imagine
fun.
if the whole group were just all artificers and it was just like a school.
Yeah.
They got like a dragon blew it up. And then it's just like, how do you either create, and like all of you could be like different ones. So like you have the potion one, you have like your little like tinkerer or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's like, how do you come up with creative solutions to like,
Engineers, man.
Yeah.
I just think it's cool.
Yeah.
Magic engineers. That's a cool class.
I was gonna say, you're
the-
selling me on it.
The group
it's
of
cool.
anything is always a cool
Yes,
concept
yes.
where it's like, hey, you're all barbarians. You have
Yes.
all, which is the next one, but it's like you have all the strengths and all the weaknesses.
That's awesome. I totally agree with you. That's like, it's a meme campaign for sure, but
Sure.
that'd be a great like one shot.
Yep.
Right? Just all one class.
Yeah. Speaking of barbarians,
Thok,
yeah.
the greatest barbarian I've ever known.
Barbarians suck.
Whoa, no, they do not.
They're-
Are you guys
look,
serious?
Look, when you're talking, hey, I'm going to go smash something,
Yeah.
awesome.
Yes.
When it's anything else, not great.
I disagree. It's so bad that it's hilarious.
Yeah, no,
And that's a
I
strength.
get that.
That's
I
a
get
strength.
that. It's just like,
That's a strength.
I love Thok. Like
They're
that
the
is my
comedic
favorite
relief.
class.
Yeah.
It's so simple,
Yes.
and I can focus entirely on just
Hitting,
role playing,
smash.
and that's it. And I don't have to do anything else.
Exactly.
The buried entry is very, very low.
Exactly.
As a class that has any utility or any type of usefulness outside of smacking something, not there.
I'm gonna
Disagree.
say you have like the subclasses. So like there's the Storm Tempest Barbarian,
Which is Thok.
right, which
Yeah.
is how you can get into the ability to have like some AOE attacks, because a barbarian I think like also suffers from the fighter thing, which
Sure.
is like you're going to be clobbering one guy,
Yep.
and so you don't have good like area of control. You can't really exert your dominance. But then another thing that barbarians are good for is like the taunting. I forget
Yes.
which one, and so you're like
it's the
intentionally-
ancestral.
ancestral
one, I think.
guardian. So you're
Yeah.
like, hey.
Well, I don't think it's guardian, but ancestral something.
I have Milo the wizard who has 6 hit points, sitting in my back line, and
Yep.
I don't want you to go hit him. So just
Taunt's very rare
Yeah.
too. So like that's a. I think barbarians are very strong classes, especially the totem warrior barbarian is busted.
oh yeah,
The
Yeah,
fact,
no,
like,
I don't disagree with the strength in combat.
yes,
I'm saying outside of combat.
Yes.
There's not a lot there.
Personally, I think that's the beauty of it because you're so one-sided where outside of combat, you're so bad that it's hilarious. You're the
It's a
comedic
comedy of
relief.
errors.
You are the
Right.
interesting part of the game. So like when we're talking best class, in my mind, it's like, what do you have the most fun with? And it's
Yeah.
like, oh, I destroy things in combat, and out of combat, I fuck around, and I'm the guy who's like, oh, I know how to make potions, and I blow up the room,
Yeah.
and that's the stuff you remember.
But that only happens when you're a good role player or where you don't mind rolling those ones or you don't mind not actually being good at anything.
Right.
Right.
That's
which is,
fair.
Which is me, where I'm like, I love the flawed nature
Yes.
of Thok. So like, again, that's my favorite class of all of these. Like, I love that class.
Yeah.
I just think when you're looking at it from an objective sense,
Yeah.
and I'm going to say the same thing with a fighter. I just think even a fighter
So-
has more utility and can
that's true.
branch out a little bit
Yeah.
and be a little bit more varied than just a barbarian.
I guess my argument as well is like,
Look, man, I'll put them on the list. I'm not going to like.
I
just
like
trying
I
to
was
be
saying,
fair
the
and
barrier
objective,
to
you
the
know?
barrier to entry is really important for me. So like when you're considering a new player's perspective, the fact that you can have this class where you can just hit things really helps people. And then
Yeah.
maybe they're not comfortable role playing yet, and they're not comfortable with the rule set, so it's really easy to get their feet wet. But on the flip side, you can have an experienced player who you don't have to worry about, min-maxing and stuff. I just hit things, and now I can focus all of my energy on role playing and being creative and being
Right.
funny. So like,
Yeah.
I think it works actually both for both
as a
players.
But as a new player, though, and you're like, oh, in combat, and maybe this is why people like the combat part of it, where it's like, oh, okay, I'm like, it's combat, I'm
numbers,
just
yeah.
good because
Yeah.
I'm wrecking everything in front of me. But the moment they have to roll for like a trap, and then suddenly they're
just jump
falling
on
into
it.
spikes,
Yeah.
or they have to roll like a charisma, whatever, or an intelligence, God forbid, like then
Yeah.
they just lose everything outside of
That's fair.
combat. That kind of extreme hot, extreme cold might be a
Sure.
little off-putting.
Sure.
And that's fair, but then you can also just position them near the back. I mean, if you're in a party with a rogue and a barbarian, and you're like you're saying dungeon
A
delving.
barbarian in the back.
Think about that sentence.
No. Hear me out. When we're talking specific, like you were adventuring, right, or like
Yeah.
exploration. I'm not really going to send a barbarian out to go find, figure out how to
No,
get
the
through this
barbarian
dungeon.
sends himself.
Exactly.
You don't
never
have
played a barbarian, buddy.
You don't have a
You
say about the
said-
barbarian.
That's
I know.
fair.
The
So-
barbarian wants to go. He goes.
So what are we thinking for barbarian?
Look, man, I'll put him on the list. Like, we can't. I mean, we
if
have
you guys
13
feel
classes.
strongly about it, no. I mean, it's 2-1. I'm just trying to
I'm
defend the
saying-
barb.
I'm neutral, which is a problem.
I'll throw it on. I'll throw it
All right.
on.
Maybe.
It's on a maybe.
Yeah, I don't think it's definitely on, but
Yeah, it's on a maybe.
I might be saying maybe for everything. So we'll see. What's next?
Bard. Now, I think that Bard is such an iconic class, right? Like, when you think of Dungeons and Dragons, your stereotypical party that you're going to think of is probably like a wizard, a bard, and a fighter. And so I think that, I mean, we're not on to those classes yet, but I think that purely because like a bard is one of like the faces of D&D, it has a value on top of the fact that it's just a ton of fun to play. Because you can really do a lot of different things. You have the bard who is like College of Valor, where you're like you're like a pirate, you're like Jack Sparrow, like fucking around and being just charismatic. And you also have bards who are like spies, like there's a lot of ways that you can play the class. And then also performance, being able to stay at like an inn or whatever, just cause, hey, I just have to roll above a 10 and I don't have to worry about my lodging in like certain campaigns is really fun. And, takes a lot of, like you're saying, the stress of role playing out.
Yep. I agree with all that. Bards are fucking OP too.
Yeah.
They're actually busted. So
Yeah.
I've never played a bard, but they are broken.
Are they broken up front though?
No.
Yes.
That's the thing is I played a bard and I felt extremely underpowered compared to everybody else.
In the game,
early
or-
game, yeah.
Maybe. Yeah,
Yeah.
I guess maybe not up front.
Like there's only so many times I can
But-
throw out
but
an
literally,
insult and
you
hit him
can-
for a D4.
But literally, the fact that you have bardic inspiration as a bonus action, like you could just be a new player and just inspire people.
Yeah,
You get,
yeah.
And you
Busted.
get 1 because you get your level in bardic inspiration.
Yeah.
So it's like,
Well, what is it in the game though? We're talking about actual Dungeons and Dragons.
That's what I'm thinking. I think in for Dungeons and Dragons, I think you start off with just your level in.
I thought you could literally
inspire
spam it.
Yeah, you can spam it.
Yeah, I think you have unlimited, dude.
That's
what's
influenced
amazing
Astarion
about
multiple times. I haven't
Bard
been to
is
camp yet.
every turn you were just making your party better.
Yeah.
Every like for free.
And I like the idea of like, okay, I'm just playing a violin in the background and doing
You're
stuff
the
like
fucking soundtrack to the
Bard
game.
is cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like whenever I was playing just D&D proper,
Correct?
No, so rules is written. It's equal to your charisma modifier, not level.
Okay, so you're like potentially three starting. That's
Yeah.
pretty good.
That's not as bad.
So
as
you think about it, you have like a couple combats per day. You're
Yeah.
always gonna have it up.
Yeah.
so I guess I would, because I did it 3 times because I had 3 locks to pick. So
Yeah.
then I guess technically I'm out. I just haven't realized it yet.
Yeah.
But whatever.
I think Bard should go on the list personally.
I am okay with it on the list,
Yeah, I
but
feel like you have to.
you're not happy about that.
Bards
Bards
are
just,
great.
yeah.
I think they are very cliche.
Really?
Well, I mean, horny
Yeah.
Bard is
Horny
like an
Bard
archetype.
is a
Well,
yeah.
look at the look
I
at the
rolled
new
to
movie
seduce
that
the
came
dragon.
out. Like,
Yep. And
Yeah.
I win because I can't lose those rolls.
yeah.
Sorry, what were you saying?
No, I mean, with the movie, with Critical Role, like,
Yeah.
you have to have that. But
Did you see the D&D movie?
yeah,
What'd you think?
it was fine. It wasn't nearly as good as what people were.
Interesting. I gave it like
Same.
an 8.5.
I gave it like an 8.
I think
had
that's,
fun with
that's
it.
high. Yeah, I would probably say I'd give it like an 8. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was
All right.
expecting more somehow, just for the fanfare around it.
I actually thought it was gonna suck, and I was like, oh, that was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's next?
Cleric.
Clerics are busted.
I don't look. I'll be like. I kind of agree with the Baldur's Gate players. I think cleric is not that fun to play because of the role that you often get relegated into is not optimized for the class. Because what do you think? I want a cleric. It's because I wanted a healer, right?
Right.
But that's really not where a cleric shines.
Correct.
Cleric is like a good support class that's not a healer. And so I feel like for like a lot of people who play cleric are going to get pigeonholed into trying to be a healer, and you're not a good healer.
It depends. If you go cleric of life, you are a good healer. So it's
Right.
like it depends what you pick. But I think cleric probably should be on the list because there are so many subclasses. There's like 8, 10,
12.
12. You can actually have a party of clerics, like Tyler said, and have every role like set. There's just so many variations and things you can do with it. It is so varied that I think it's very interesting.
But if you take them and put it up against any other class, the other classes are going to be better at most things, except with, support, like you said.
Why is that?
Well, I'm just saying, like, clerics aren't going to be as strong as barbarians or fighters, or
They're not doing
gonna
high
be,
DPS
Yeah,
because
they're not
they don't
gonna
get
be.
martial
I disagree with
weapons.
that.
They're not going to
I
be super
disagree with that.
charismatic.
Clerics can do insane DPS.
They can't. Like, you can. I'm just saying, like, they're not going to be. I don't think they're going to do as insane DPS as a barbarian or a fighter.
Right, but they're going to be more like they're going to have everything covered.
So
They're kind of like a jack of all trades, but they're not going to be like it's just going to be like middling. It's going to be like, okay, it's kind of like
right.
good, but not great.
And that's
Sure.
It's it's the jack of all trades is the master of none, right?
Right.
And I think it's like Warhammer 40K, like Space Marines are not great at anything, but they're pretty okay at everything, right? And so I think that just kind of like, unless you know what you're doing, it's generally not going to be like the best experience going forward because you are like so generalist that you can't suit. Like, I mean, I like to spec into one particular thing because I know that I'm going to be good at that, and that's like how I enjoy it, right? And I'm playing like my 4 elements monk. It's like I'm having fun because I'm trying to get my key points up as often as I can so that I can be shooting, like pushing people off mountains with the air fist and things like that. Like that's where I have the most fun.
Right.
The water whip is actually so strong too, but we're not talking about monks. So I don't think cleric belongs on the list personally.
Nate is not going to be happy with that.
And I know I'm talking
Because,
out both
like-
sides of my mouth, where like a barbarian is good at one thing,
Yes.
right? And that's
And
it.
this is
But
yeah, well, like pick one,
but
man.
no, but the difference is the barbarian is really good at that one thing.
Yes.
Where a cleric is good at kind of like everything, but they're like okay.
I don't think so. I've seen my cousin walk into a room as a cleric.
Yeah, well,
This was Stock's original campaign,
Yeah,
and I will never
yeah,
forget
yeah,
this.
yeah.
There was 20 guys in there.
Yeah.
Because he walks into the fucking goblin camp. He casts one spell, and they all die. All
Was
of them.
was I there for that?
You were there for that. It was
Yeah.
in his apartment.
Yeah.
Yes. He cast the specter shit
Yes.
that surrounds him, and everyone fails their checks, and they all just insta-die. He's like, oh, they're just dead. And I'm like, that can't be right. And he shows me the book, and they're fucking dead.
well, there's a
How is that not DPS? That was bullshit.
fair enough.
So, look, Nate has unlocked the secrets of the cleric.
We can put it on
And
maybe. We can put it on maybe. That's fine.
I think a party of clerics up against a party of barbs actually wins in a fight. Not even
Probably.
joking. I actually think they win in a fight.
I think just because you have like such good support.
You have so much variety. Like the
Yeah.
barbs can they're going to run up and they're going to try to hit you.
Yep.
What happens as a cleric when you curse all of them and now they have disadvantage on everything? What happens when the clerics start healing each other? What happens when the clerics give each other advantage?
I think in a.
What happens when the clerics give you
drawn-out fight? Maybe.
an intelligence saving throw? What does the barb do?
What's an intelligence saving throw that the clerics can give you?
Whatever bullshit Nate had, you throw over the gobs. Or maybe it was wisdom, but it doesn't matter.
yeah, I was
They just
gonna
all
say.
fucking
They're
died.
wisdom casters.
Wisdom,
so yeah.
wisdom isn't bad.
That
for
has
a
scarred me
barbarian.
for life. I was
Yeah.
like, I'm never letting
I feel
Nate
like
play
Nate's
a cleric again.
Nate's constantly scarring you.
Well, it's that, and then the other game, he stole the rock or
Yeah.
the gem or whatever, and he's like, my character leaves forever. That was my fault. To be fair, that was my
yeah.
fault because I said the gem's it's like priceless. But I was hoping he would like, I don't know, work with me a little bit there. I don't know. All right, so maybe,
Maybe.
yeah, all right.
All right, Druid.
Hard no. I think druids are ass.
I think that they so they're like the new D&D has like the like changes to how the things are. What's it? D&D 1 D&D, is that what is what they're calling it, right?
The next one that's going to come
Yeah.
out, yeah, I think so.
Yeah, and I think they did fix a lot of the problems with like
We're talking 5e though, right?
That's
Okay.
the point I'm going to make.
Yes.
Is I'm going to say that they've been working on making the class better, but 5e as it stands, it's just underpowered.
Yep.
And it doesn't fulfill the fantasy because you think druid, you're like, oh, I'm a nature guy. Either I have my animal companion or I'm turning into animals. And unless you go the one specific subclass, 2 transformations a day, and that's just like that doesn't.
And
feel
not
good.
and not a high challenge rating animal either.
No,
unless
unless you're stuck at
yeah.
it's challenge rating 1 or under until you get to really high level, and then still you're maxing 3.
unless you go specifically like whatever circle of the land or whatever. I don't
Yeah.
know. Then you can like get to a T-Rex, which is like the dream.
Yeah, but I think like
Rex.
Yeah, you can change it to T-Rex.
But I
the
th-
T-Rex.
I think that's specifically why it fails is because it's like you have to do one specific thing to really be
Yeah.
effective, and that lack of variety just kind of kills it for me.
Like I'm sure there's druid thing, like because I'm not very well versed in druid, so I'm sure there's some strong points to the class.
Yeah.
Compared to other things, I just think other people are going to do it better. Other classes.
So the other thing I think about is most of our campaigns take place like in and around cities that we've played in, and so maybe like we just haven't been in a campaign where a druid really has an opportunity to shine. But
Again, Nate
was gonna
stole
say, yeah, Nate's
5,000 gold bars from a bank because he turned into a rat. So
really, Nate just breaks D&D.
Nate is my catalyst because he shows me how busted every class is in this game.
All right.
He's like, is there a magical force field around these gold bars? I was like, no. I mean, they're not going to be like, they're not going to be able to do that all
he's
day.
giving
I
you
don't know.
opportunities. See, what
He
you
did.
need, what you need to do is every time he asks you a question, the
Yeah.
answer is yes.
You're right. It's
Yes,
on
Nate,
me,
there,
but
there
I'm
are
like,
3 magical force fields around here.
I just hate that. With my brain, it's like, this is just a poor town. Not a poor town. I mean, they have a big bank, but like,
Oh, no, they're poor now.
they are poor town. That was the whole concept.
So druid, yay or nay?
I say no, but I haven't heard from Tyler. How do you feel?
I think Nate plays he's a druid in the current campaign we're doing.
Yes.
And I think he's doing a really good job with it. He's focusing more on the healing aspects of it and role playing it that
Yeah.
way.
But I like, and I love that, and that's
Yeah.
why D&D is great. But
Yeah.
I'd rather have a cleric.
But he's been like
I'd rather have a
near
paladin.
dead most of the game.
Me,
No, Nate.
Nate's dead?
Nate keeps getting knocked down, and
he keeps not
was
being a
like,
part
yeah,
of the.
like,
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm fine keeping it off. Like, I think in spirit, it would be like it's everything else is so like it is what you think it is. A druid is just like you. It has like the you would assume it has the biggest like role playing aspect to it, where it's like you're one with nature. You can control animals. You're talking to animals. You're turning into bears. Like that could be really cool. But yeah, if it's not like
I actually disagree because like think about it. When you're in an animal, when you turn into an animal, now you can't talk. There eliminates all the role playing there, and
not if somebody has like animal communication.
Sure, but it's like, and then your charisma is not good, so you're not going to be talking to people. Yeah, so unless you're in nature, to Calvin's point, like if you're in an urban setting, you're useless.
That's fair. I'm not fighting as beyond. I think it's a cool class, but maybe not done well.
Yeah. All right. So next we have fighter.
I think fighters are very good.
Sea barbarian.
I actually would.
I would take a fighter over a barbarian just because of like
too.
the pure variety. Because like you have Eldritch Knight, you have Arcane Archer, you have Battle Master, you have Champion, you have Samurai, you have Cavalier.
Yep. So would you put it on for the multi-class aspects?
No.
Or just by itself? So it's all solo fighter? That's not a multi-class?
Yeah, so you could do a group of like, I mean, so I think there's 6 or 7 fighter subtypes, and now I think 2 of them, like that Venn diagram is almost a circle. But you could have like a 6-man party and have it like, 6 different actually unique flavors. Because also, one thing that really bums me out about D&D a lot is that like horse combat isn't really ever a thing because everybody's on foot most of the time. You're stalking through dungeons, you're in cities. And the Cavalier subclass, the one time that I did get to play it, is such a fun time because that's one of the other classes that offers a taunt. So you get to like ride right by and purposefully invoke those attacks of opportunity. And if they make it, then if they like actually hit you, then they can't do anything else as part of the nature of their taunt. And so it's another great class to be able to tank. You have there's your fighter tank. You have your fighter mage with the Eldritch Knight. You get access to wizard spells. You have the Battle Master, where you're, if you're in a party of like you have like some NPCs around, or even your ally, your human allies, you're giving them advantage. You're having them do like special sweeps. Like there's all sorts of things you can do with the fighter class, and I think that it gets really fleshed out because it's very popular, and it's popular because it's very fleshed out.
Yeah, no, I agree with everything. Super easy barrier to entry, right? Too like
with a high skill ceiling.
With a high skill ceiling, depending on what you do. So I agree with that. Because like think about it, Battle Master's like best of both worlds. Like you are just a pure martial class where you're just fighting, but you kind of get spells through like your abilities. Where like I can command someone to move and they get a little bonus. I can riposte an attack, and I get to pick which battle points I have or whatever, right? And I just think that's a cool flavor.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. Like if you guys feel strongly about it, I'm not gonna fight that.
I think
would you take off Barbarian for fighter?
I would.
Then?
Yeah.
Personally, I would. I do think Barbarians are good. Also, fighters get 4 attacks at level 25.
4.
That's
They get
crazy.
pretty-
Because you get one every 5 levels.
Their DPS gets absolutely disgusting.
And then you have second wind too.
Second one's good. They can heal themselves. Yeah, they're cool.
Or action surge.
Action
so like
surge
once a day,
is
you
better.
could even get a whole nother. I mean, you get 5. You get at
Level 20, you get 5 attacks.
5 attacks, and
I
then
thought it
you
was 5,
can
maybe 4.
4. We'll say 4, and then you can
Double
action
it.
surge and get another 4 attacks.
It gets nobody plays at level 20, but it theoretically gets very busted.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, I say fighter. What is up next? Fighter. What's after F in the alphabet? Lots of things, right?
G.
M. Yeah, monk. There we go. Monk. How are we feeling about monks?
It's a no from me.
Yeah.
Really?
Monks are boring.
So I think you made a good point earlier with druids where like if we look at what they're buffing in D&D 1, we can kind of tell what's underpowered. Monk is one of those where they are addressing it big time because they are cool.
Yes.
Like the monk of the one fist or whatever, like I want to be Saitama, I want to one punch everything, but like they are not great.
No, I think it's a great role play thing. But as far as like pure combat, and I would say like overall, it's not spectacular.
Combat wise, my monk sucked. so bad. But like he was good, but that was purely dumb role playing and lucky dice rolls. Like that wasn't like I had a good build or a good, like he was strong. He was just stupid. Yeah, I'm fine keeping Monk off. He was a boring.
I don't have much to say about
class.
it. I think the potential's there, but like in practice, I don't think it's great.
I agree.
Maybe that's my thing, is I pick boring classes, but then that just lets me focus on the role playing.
I think
rather than
that's
focusing
a
on like
totally
the
legitimate
magic.
strategy.
But then that's why I'm not clicking as much with Baldur's Gate, where it's like I have to do both, where it's like, okay, I'm more interested in the story and in the role playing stuff. But like when you're controlling 4 different party members and they level up, and then it's like, normally that should be exciting. For me, that's like, oh my gosh, I gotta.
That's why you do barbarian, fighter, rogue, fucking.
And then just
Whatever, then you can do a wizard or something. It's like you only have to really pick like spells for one person.
That's fair.
Because you do rogue, fighter, barb, 90% of the time those classes you're just like accept.
Shredding them. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like your health goes up, you get sneak attack or
That's
whatever.
fair.
Like it's so easy.
Yeah.
All right, what's next? Sorry.
No, it's good. Ranger. I think we're in the same thing with
Yep.
D&D 1. They're buffing the Ranger because the fantasy is lacking. Because it's just like with Druid, but I would say even more so.
Yep.
You want your animal companion, and luckily the one time I played a Ranger, I had a really awesome DM who made my my animal companion like its own character, and that was like fully fleshed out. But like rules is written, Rangers suck.
Yeah, I always like when people play as a ranger, especially the original Beastmaster.
Yeah.
It was maybe the worst subclass of all time.
Absolutely.
It was terrible. You had to use your action to control your animal companion. So you're just sitting there doing nothing while your bird
It just defeats the purpose.
exactly. It was actually terrible. So the only good subclass is Gloomstalker Ranger, which is a better rogue, actually, funny enough. But overall as a class, I totally agree. I think they're super weak and not good.
Yeah. And speaking of rogues, that's what's next.
Did you have any thoughts about Rangers?
No, because I rogues were pretty good.
Rogues are awesome.
We're going to spend a lot of time on rogues.
Rogues are my favorite, and that's very personally, they're my favorite. Selfishly, I would love to see them on the list because I just love playing rogues.
Yeah.
No,
I mean,
I actually 100% agree. One of my favorite characters that I've played was the Inquisitor rogue.
Yeah.
And so I did 1 level in cleric and did the rest in rogue, so that I was like I was the Spanish Inquisition was my whole whole gimmick for that campaign was trying to be to sneaky, and then the channel divinity, and I would just always shout no one expects, and I forget which. Obviously I can't say Spanish Inquisition because we're in D&D fantasy world.
No one expects the Sword Coast Inquisition.
Yeah.
Whatever. Yeah, 100%. I think there's so many role-playing applications as well. Like you get Thieves' Cant. I know I've had games where it's like you work with your DM and it's like, I mean, we've even seen in our game, right, where Dwayne hands Jeff a coin or his tooth or something.
Yeah.
And it was all set up that they talked about beforehand, and we're like sitting there in game, in real life, like so confused. Yep. And then afterwards, just like, oh, that was like, and we actually like messed it up actively because it was like, I think those opportunities are super cool.
Does the wolf howl at midnight?
Exactly. Like we we'd do dumb shit like that where it's like we'd have code words and
like we play, like Nate was DMing for a stretch like years ago.
I can't imagine Nate is a DM.
And I was
Tyler?
trying.
No, Nate is a DM.
Oh, Nate, yeah.
Nate's a good DM.
Nate's great.
Yeah. But I was trying to do things that were like breaking molds. So that's when I was doing like my tiefling cleric, and it was just like, it's just miserable. And then at some point I was like, all right, I'm just gonna be a elven rogue. And I looked up like, how do I make this just OP? And it's like, oh, I can just sneak attack every 5 seconds and just nuke everything. I don't even remember the character's name. That's how long ago it was because it was all on just paper. But I did, like, combat wise, I did have a lot of fun just wrecking people.
Yeah.
So I do have a soft spot for a rogue, but I am a little sad I didn't get like a chance to like role play it because it was purely, I'm like, okay, this is an 8 campaign. It's gonna be heavy on combat. Josh is playing. It's like it's gonna be
Priestley?
like Klinowski. So it was like we're just gonna. I'm speccing my guy specifically to just fight
damage.
things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
So
I think there's a lot of variety too. So like you have the Inquisitor rogue. You have like a obviously the assassin, the thief, which is slept on, by the way. Once I like looked into like throwing things, because the thief gets to throw more things. There's a build you can do where you're Batman and you just have a utility belt of fucking things. So you just throw down caltrops. You have like potions and shit and fire bombs and like.
See, that's awesome.
That's awesome, and I think that's a really cool concept. Like once you learn the roles of like initially thief seems like the worst class of all time until you like dig into
I
the
just get
roles.
to steal shit. Like,
Well, it's the throwing because you get an extra bonus action to like throw things and do different things, and it's like someone's like, this seems stupid. But imagine you have a utility belt with everything possible, and you just have all these options, and you're just that sold me on Thief. So there's that, and there's like an undead one kind of too, where you can speak to spirits, and
it's the long life or something.
I forget what it's called, but that's an interesting one. And there's like a Sherlock Holmes type one too, where you
that's cool.
It's the is that the Inquisitive? No, because the Inquisitive is like a spy.
Inquisitive is like a spy. That's the I forget what it's called, but you can like freeze time and deduce things, and it's like really interesting. It's
Arcane
not
Trickster even.
Arcane Trickster, so you can have the magic component. So I think Rogue's very varied.
All right, so Rogue goes on the
very
list.
varied. Yes,
all right.
I think so. I mean, that's
I
very biased. That's
very
biased.
That's what I'm gonna end up playing in Baldur's Gate, like guaranteed. So,
and also we went slightly out of order. I forgot that P goes before R in the alphabet,
depending on the day.
Yep.
So Paladins, how do we feel about them?
Nope.
All right, cool.
The cool thing with Paladins, because Chelsea was a Paladin the one time she played, and she actually like it was fun. Like I enjoyed playing with her with that. I think she was a Dragonborn Paladin. I think. But I do like the idea of like the Oathbreaker, and I feel like you can get some real flavor on like the role playing aspect of it. So I think that's kind of neat. But
it's my preferred healer personally.
That's wrong.
Lay on hands is so strong, and it's a class ability.
Mathematically, you're wrong.
Fair.
Like they actually there was someone who broke down. They called it the Healing Olympics.
Yeah.
And they broke down all the math for healers. And early on, it's actually Druid of the Moon or some shit.
Really?
But Life Cleric will outscale any healer ever. And they will just be the best healer in the game no matter what you do.
Shadowheart's like your healer, right? Like that's like you
100%.
just want her in your
I mean, she's giving,
and Lay on Hands is not as good as well because it is not ranged. So if you're on the other side of the battlefield, you have to run over to them. Well, that's the issue.
I agree. So that's why, like I said, I have Shadowheart spec'd in both Cleric and Paladin.
Yeah.
So I save Lay on Hands for, we're dungeon crawling. You maybe get like 5 minutes of respite, which, maybe not enough time to do like your full long rest or a short rest. And so that's why I have her like with her two.
I mean, we're talking
Paladin.
in Baldur's Gate.
Yeah.
I actually just do a long rest after every combat. Like, why wouldn't you? Yeah, why wouldn't you?
Because I've gotten 2 times now where I've been in like a restricted area, and so I had to like journey the entire way out before I could do a long rest.
That's fair.
Or long
I haven't run
rest
into that
will
issue.
push the story forward.
What's
on
that?
Certain things. Long rest will push it
That's
forward.
also true.
Yeah.
I think I've talked to everyone so much though, where it's like, when you play in like Mass Effect, it's like nobody has anything to say for a while.
People were saying like they were upset with we see a tavern. I think they used the tavern burning down example, which I haven't got to. So sorry if that's a spoiler.
I also haven't gotten there. So.
But they were like, hey, this
tavern's
on fire or whatever. And then they would long rest before to like buff their party.
Yeah.
But then when they come back, the tavern's burned down. Because and Larian's like, well, yeah, if you go to sleep when something's burning, that's what happens.
Yeah.
So it's this weird
freeze time.
it's this weird thing of like it's not just every long rest pushes the game forward. It's dependent on where you are, what's going on within your vicinity. Does your actions here then affect a different area? So there's like a lot of just stuff.
Yeah, if you're trying to save someone and the timing's critical,
Yeah.
So I agree.
It's neat.
Yeah.
Generally, I long rest after every fight.
Yeah.
So I'm not like I think Paladins are cool, but it's not like needs to be on the
my
list.
no for that is you are kind of pigeonholed into one. So like I recently played a Paladin of Vengeance.
Yeah.
And I was so sick of just being like, going after
I'm
my
angry.
sister. I'm angry all the time. Like I can have no fun. I'm so because we were playing what was that book called?
I don't know.
Was
The
it
Feywild, whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And like the beginning part of that book is like you're in a carnival and there's all these activities, and I'm like, I want to play these activities, but my dude is so solely focused on one fucking thing. I'm such a
Yeah.
killjoy, so I kind of hate that aspect.
But
They're
then
just
also,
they're boring.
yeah, lawful good is generally what you're required to be as a paladin, which I
Or
just
lawful
find,
evil.
Yeah,
If you're an Oathbreaker.
Honestly, I think lawful is just boring to play, but
I'm sure that you can get creative. I think anything's viable, which is why
Right.
D&D is the best. But yeah, it's a little bit hard. You have to be a little bit more creative,
Yeah.
maybe.
all right. So then next is Warlock.
I love Warlock.
I think Warlock is so from like specifically like a role play perspective, because you know
Yes.
you have all these private conversations with the DM, and there's this, you know, if you're secretive about it enough, like who was it that was playing a Warlock, like actually playing a Warlock, but was just telling us they were playing a rogue? Was that?
Probably Josh.
Is that Lex?
Yes. Only good character he ever did, you know?
She? Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that like that's cool. And then Eldritch Blast is just kind of insanely strong.
It is. The only negative I would say is it is so overplayed. Everyone wants to play
A Warlock.
Warlock, yeah.
I feel like Warlock is
Warlock was next. That's W.
Yeah. So I did P after R.
S?
Sorcerer. Oh my God.
All right, we'll get back to it. Sorry, go ahead.
He thinks it's already on the list.
He
so
never
just
worked at
skip it.
GameStop. It's okay.
The thing with Warlock is like I feel like Warlock has been partly reasons on why like every campaign has quit, like in one
Yes.
form or fashion. Either it being the party and doing that, and we're just imploding on each other,
Yep.
or the villains are like overpowered warlocks or something. It's just like
Yep.
I don't know. And maybe I'm just bringing Thok into this, but like I just don't like magic. Like it's just people that play warlock are like, I just want to be super power. Like, and look, by all means, that's fine. But I have yet to see like a really good like rationale or reason, or like they're always like, I'm talking to my god, maybe, I don't know. Like they're all like coy about it because they have to do this.
They want to
thing
be like
and,
an anime protagonist.
I guess.
You know what I mean? Like
They want it. What's the guy from Death Note?
light
Light. Yeah.
Yagami, yeah.
They just want to be light.
Yeah, they want to be like 100%. That's actually good.
I don't
good
know.
one.
Like subjectively, I
No, I
hate
agree with
warlocks.
that.
Like I would.
I
ban
think
them.
it's the easiest spellcaster to get into because it's very straightforward. Like, here are your spells. You don't have to prep them every day. There's just, here they are. Here are your spell slots. Use them until they're
Enjoy
done.
all three of them.
Exactly. It's just like easy to manage. It's easy to get into. Eldritch Blast, you're going to be doing 99% of the time. It's like the fighter version of a spellcaster.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's a lot of great role playing applications. But yeah, unfortunately, like, I guess the way they can be played can dampen these.
I was gonna say, actually, like
experiences.
I was really up on warlocks whenever we brought up the topic, but now that we're like talking about it, I'm just kind of like, you know what?
the potential's there, but like, yeah, I don't know.
Good.
Like,
I'm good actually. We can skip the warlock.
well, I have another spellcaster. I think should be it. Should I jump to that?
Yes,
Wizards should be on the list.
100%.
Wizards are the face of fantasy. They are unbelievably broken. They are complicated, which I view as potentially a negative because I think it deters people from playing them. Like you learn so many spells. You can learn new spells outside of leveling up just through spell scrolls. You can
No,
do
and you're
whatever.
100% right because so you know Sarah's like a huge Harry Potter person, and so
Yes.
immediately she wants to play a wizard, and then
Incorrect.
is immediately turned off by how complicated
Yes.
and weird and granular being a wizard in Dungeons and Dragons actually is. I was like, actually, you want to play as a sorcerer, but
Yep.
I understand, you know, wizards, blah blah blah.
But I think it is potentially the best class. It is easily the most versatile. You like we talked about same class party.
yeah,
You do 4 wizards, that is probably the best
Yep.
in the entire game. You could do a melee wizard. You can do
punch wizard, best wizard.
a magic wizard, obviously. You can do a support wizard. You can do a healing wizard. You can actually do anything you want with wizard. You are only stopped by your own creativity.
Yes.
So I think it easily deserves to be on the list. That's
Have
my
we played
opinion.
with wizards?
Milo?
Okay, well, sure, but like, I don't think we've ever done
Just
another
wait
one.
until we get after we start leveling up in that game.
But that's the thing
is
you're
gonna
doing it
open up.
in a role playing way. Like you do it so well that it's like it's not like when we play, people that are warlocks. I know you're a warlock.
Yep.
And I can't stop hearing about how you're a warlock. Like where like you're role playing a wizard, but it's so like integrated where like I don't know. It feels way better than just like I'm just gonna Eldritch Blast you in the face every time. Like I don't know.
I think you can do that for Warlock, but you have to, I don't know. I think a lot of it is, and again, this is the beauty of the game where you can play anything. Mm-hmm. I think a lot of it's just being very intentional and making a lot of considerations about, what is my backstory? How do I want this to make sense, right? So I think investing that time into really carefully crafting that pays off. So I don't know. I think Wizards should be on.
I agree, but I think there is a better spellcaster that we accidentally skipped over.
Wrong, but go ahead.
Sorcerers are, like I said, I'm a sorcerer fanboy.
Yes.
I think it's just fun. I'm not talking about like most optimized, best for doing X, Y, or Z. But it's like where a cleric, in my opinion, because they're like a jack of all trades, kind of dissolves into nothing. And I think that's also kind of the charm of a sorcerer, is because you're not great at magic. You, for the most part, you are a wild magic sorcerer or a draconic bloodline, and you just kind of figured out how to do magic without like really thinking about it. And it feels a lot more natural of just like, yeah, I'm just kind of flying by the seat of my goddamn pants, and I'm having a great time doing it because I tried to cast Lightning Bolt on this guy, and I accidentally grew a beard that's made out of feathers. Like
I'm gonna have to say a hot take. I think the wild magic is so overplayed. Like everyone loves doing it, and they think it's like so interesting. I've seen it happen so many times where it's just such a nothing, and people don't like lean into the role play of it enough.
Yes. I agree.
I think the potential's there, but like, I don't know. It doesn't seem like it's executed well a lot of the time in my personal experience.
No, and I agree with you. I think it's another one where it's like it's got a high skill floor to be able to do it well. And I think maybe it's just because I've spent so much time as a DM, because like I think I've DM'd more campaigns than I've played in, and so like the couple times that I do get to play, I'm like, oh, all these things that I do know because I'm like very familiar with the systems I get to like abuse and have fun with as a sorcerer. So like for me personally, it's like I said, it's the most fun, but I understand that it's not for everyone.
I don't think it's bad. I'm actually surprised because I would think Wizard you would like more because if you're behind the screen, you're seeing all the applications that are possible. Personally, I would think that'd be more fun because you're seeing those combinations. You're seeing what's feasible out there, but
so
I don't know.
I get what you're saying, but for me, it's because DMing is such like a thing of planning and you've played in campaigns that I've run. Tyler, I think you did like a session in a I
think
did.
we played like that one. That was the first time Milo made an appearance.
Yeah. Where my general philosophy is to largely do improv, but I do such an insane amount of world building beforehand so that I have these things that I can just easily fall back on and I don't need to make plans.
Yeah.
And so because of how much effort I have to put in with DMing, I think that a wizard is just doing that on the other side of the table. And sorcerer allows me to like kind of throw off the shackles of having to make sure that I know exactly what I'm doing at all times and that I'm planning everything.
It's fair.
So I think it's a very whimsical class. And you know what I'm here for? Whimsy.
Thoughts, Tyler?
So I thought, like, when you started off strong in the argument. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. Like, it's like simplistic or whatever. But then you started losing me on, like, they're born of it. And it's just kind of going with the flow and flying by the seat of the pants and doing different stuff. It's like, yeah, but, like, if I was, like, a wizard, I'd be pissed. Like, I don't know why.
Yep.
So, like,
Wizards hate.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Like, I don't know
They
why
hate
this
sorcerers.
is suddenly like I'm internalizing this as like that's the equivalent of somebody being like, I'm a graphic designer, but like didn't go to school for it and are like talking through it and they don't know what they're talking about, but they're acting like they know what they're talking about, and that just like triggers me for some reason.
Yup.
Where now I'm like,
Same thing in musician, like
screw
you said,
sorcerers.
a
Like,
prodigy.
yeah, it's just
that's
like-
like, oh, I don't know how to read music. Oh, you're the best. It's fantastic.
It just
I love
makes me
hearing
a
that.
little angry.
I only studied this my whole life, and now you just come up and you're better than everyone.
When it's like, and that's why I think it's so funny because there was like a tweet I saw recently where it was like, a sorcerer's talking about like, talking to a wizard, and he's like, oh, so you're opening, whenever you're conjuring water, you're opening a portal under the ocean, and that's how you're getting your water. I was just, forcibly combining hydrogen and oxygen to make to make water. And then it's like, okay, well, that's like entirely unnecessary. And if you just studied, you could like really, make this a lot easier on yourself. And the other one is like, oh yeah, I learned the teleportation spell. And it's like, okay, well, can you cast like, a basic magic missile? And it's like, no. It's like, how the fuck did you learn to teleport before you got like one of the most basic spells in the world?
I would amend that by saying the wizard's talking about what goes into shaping water.
Yeah.
And then the sorcerer comes up. He's like, oh, I just think about water. And it just happens, man.
Like, I'm getting angry at thinking.
Yeah, isn't that fucking infuriating? Like, that's the age-old, like, wizard and sorcerers do not get along because it's like, oh, I studied for 20 years learning how to teleport, and you just think about being in a location and you're fucking there.
So I'll end my opinion on I hate magic, but I would identify more with a wizard than a sorcerer.
All right.
Wizards are great. I think wizards definitely should be on. I don't necessarily think the sorcerer should not be on, but
I mean, we
let's see what we have on the maybes.
We put every other
whittle it
class
down,
on.
yeah.
If I'm going just by that thing I looked at,
Did we miss any
online-
classes? Run through the list so we make sure we didn't miss any classes.
So the only one that I know we didn't touch on is the Blood Hunter, but that's like not official 5e, but I know that's going to be in D&D 1.
Nope.
So
Blood Hunter, that's
Does
the Matt
not
Mercer
count.
thing?
yeah, the Matt Mercer like Monster Hunter.
I don't count that
No,
personally.
I wouldn't
don't
really.
count
I
that
mean,
personally.
props to Mercer, he's amazing, but
No, I think it's
Yeah.
cool, but
yeah.
it wouldn't make it anyways. It's like a super edgelord class, which I'm not a huge fan of the edgelord classes.
Dude, honestly, playing with edgelords
I guess rogues are. Maybe I'm maybe I'm a hypocrite.
But you don't play an edgelord rogue.
I played an edgelord paladin, and I was like, I hate this because I just rolled a random character, and
Yeah.
it was perfect edgelord. And I was like, this sucks. It goes against everything I want to do.
Right. Okay. So what do we have on the
So out of 13 classes, we have 7 on here. We have Artificer, Fighter, Bard, Cleric, Rogue, Wizard, Sorcerer. Right now, gathering what we were talking about, Rogue is definitely on the list.
rogue is definitely on.
So we have to have 4 others.
I think wizard's on.
I think fighter's on.
It's a lock. I don't know.
I think there's a strong
think
case
wizard's
for
a
the
lock.
fighter.
I think there is a strong case for the fighter, but I would like to talk it through. I think wizard's personally.
What about Bard? Can
Bard,
we-
I could honestly like if
I think bard's more of a lock than fighter.
really.
Personally,
That's what I would think too.
Okay. All right.
it's so unique.
It is very unique.
Fighters are the onions of D&D.
See, I think fighter number 4.
They get rotted in the sun.
I just think like
They
I'm
have
just gonna
layers.
pick up a
He got it.
pick up a thing and
I butchered the line, but Donkey says something along that. What about parfaits? Everybody likes parfaits. I don't even know what a parfait
ain't nobody
is.
said I don't like no parfait.
That's like yogurt and fruit and granola and like you get.
Oh,
like, the
really?
cup.
That's
Yeah.
what a parfait is? I thought it was a cake.
No.
Well,
Well, no, that's a trifle.
Yeah, that's right.
Whenever you make it into a cake, that's a slightly.
Are you
different
sure
thing.
it's not a cake?
yeah, because
the way he was
McDonald's,
describing
McDonald's
it.
has parfaits.
Oh, yeah.
Or they
you're
had
right.
parfaits.
Yeah, okay. Now I'm picturing it. As soon as you said McDonald's, I was like, yep.
Yeah. So
McCafe.
All right. Well, we
whatever,
were saying like, oh,
whenever you're
definitely,
doing a cake,
definitely,
it's a
definitely.
trifle.
Okay.
We can't have everything definitely on the list. So right now, Rogue and Wizard are on there.
I think, yeah, those are looks.
I agree.
Now we have-
I would put Bard on there.
I agree.
Okay, so we have 2 spots left. What do we have?
Artificer,
left?
which I felt like we could take. No one seemed super.
Well, let's.
Yeah, you
let's
go through 'em
remind
real
me what
quick.
we have.
Artificer, Fighter, Cleric, Sorcerer. Keeping in mind, we're not making a party out of these. Like you
Right,
can have
right,
two
right,
magic
right,
dealers.
right.
Like it's,
So if we're talking, so there's 4 more, and we need to chop 2 of them. So
yep.
I'll say what
not
I would
great with
like.
the alphabet, but
I'll say,
solid with math.
it's one or the other.
Yeah.
you'd chop sorcerer.
I will say what I would like on.
Oh, okay.
Fighter cleric is personally what I would put on.
Okay. See, I would give you fighter, but I wouldn't say cleric.
Okay. What would you, if you had to,
So we have-
what would your twos be?
Okay, wait. So just remember. So we have rogue, wizard, bard,
Yeah.
and then
Two more.
2 more. So I would say fighter, sorcerer, personally.
Fighter, sorcerer. Okay. Tyler?
I would go cleric artificer.
So we have
So that is a dead tie and fucking everything. That's fantastic. Well, I mean, we have 2 fighters. So fighters should, by law of more people.
I can understand the thing for fighter. I think personally, I would take a barb over fighter.
I would say
I wouldn't, but
I wouldn't. I would get rid of cleric. I would chop cleric from the list. I just don't think it's that interesting or fun to play personally.
I just disagree. There's so many varieties.
So wait, you both said cleric then?
You can do life. You can do death. You
True.
can do forge is super cool where you
Trickery.
make people's magic items. You can craft magic items. That's fucking awesome. You can do nature. So you can be a nature cleric.
Yeah.
So fuck druids. I'm a nature cleric. Like you can do anything you want with cleric. It is crazy. You can do a light cleric.
Yep.
Oh, we don't have a wizard. We need fireball. I'm a light cleric. Most broken 3rd level spell in the game. Maybe the best spell in the entire game for fighting.
True.
It's like you can actually do whatever you want as cleric, and I just think it is so busted.
I picked cleric because I didn't want fighter, and you pissed me off on sorcerer. So that's kind of
The spite pit.
that's
Nice.
fair.
Wait, so
But-
you said cleric?
I did
You
say
said
cleric.
cleric,
Artificer.
Artificer.
Yeah.
Oh, so that's 2 votes for clerics, 2 votes for fighters.
So then obviously
fighter-
So
Fighter,
by
fighter,
the
fighter.
votes, it should be cleric fighter.
You know
Which
what?
is what I
You know what?
said.
I'll take it. Fine. So fighter, cleric, rogue, wizard, bard.
Yes.
All right.
That seems very well-rounded on a D&D group.
That would be a busted party.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good with those 5. Now comes
I
where do
actually
they
think
go?
that might be the best party you can construct.
Yeah, probably one of everything.
Yeah.
Sure.
Well, no, it's half.
Yeah.
I think the only
There's
thing that you're
2
lacking in that party is like a general, like a dedicated marshal, like a
Fighter.
Oh, we said fight.
Yeah.
I'm
Wait, what?
I
The dedicated
You have
martial
know
art.
fighter,
I don't
support,
know
healer,
why I
sneaky
forgot
guy,
fighter.
and magic. It's one
Yep.
of everything.
You have the guy who
took the
talks.
best-
You have the guy who fights. You have the guy who casts anything you want in the world. You have the other guy who casts
who
anything you
does
want.
that in a supportive way.
Yeah, but you could vice versa. You could be
True.
cleric damage, wizard support.
Yep.
Flip it. You could, that's
Okay,
that's everything.
So what's number 5?
You guys seem down on cleric. I'm okay with putting cleric 5.
I don't know. You're kind of convincing me on
I think it
cleric.
is the most versatile.
What about-
Besides wizard, is the most versatile.
Fighter
class.
5.
I would put fighter 5.
Fighter 5.
I'm fine with fighter 5.
Okay.
A little alliteration.
Little okay. Fighter 5.
It sounds like a band. Fighter 5.
Alliteration. Fighter. Yeah.
Fighter
You think
5.
so?
5 for fighting is probably what you're thinking of.
5 for fighting. Yeah.
Is that a band,
That is
actually?
a band.
Okay. What?
All right.
I didn't know them.
Oh,
He's
no.
he listens to
yeah.
classical music almost.
You never heard
exclusively.
100
Big.
Years or Superman?
Big
or,
on
Okay.
Superman. Like
Superman was John Williams.
We're not getting there.
Okay. Sorry about that. I
Yeah, it's
apologize
five
to
for
my.
five for fighting was Superman, wasn't it?
No, because.
Oh, why are you looking at me? I just said I don't know who they are.
Okay, wait. 5 for fighting is. It's a single dude, actually. It's not a band. Superman. Yeah. I mean, we can't
100,
listen to
100
it.
years, Superman.
Chance's
I
World.
can't stand to fly. I'm not that naive. Okay. Well,
No, that's because I'm thinking of the what is it? It's Kryptonite is the one that I think of whenever I hear Superman.
yeah, but that's a little.
Five,
That's
go
3 doors down.
crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. No, Superman was essentially like, hey, Superman's giving up because you're not allowed to be special in the world.
Gotcha.
Oh, that was on the. Speaking of Flash games, I've been talking about Flash games a lot. There was the Guitar Hero stick figure.
Yes.
What was it called? Guitar Hero Maniac Super Deluxe Awesomeness, like 3 or whatever.
Yeah,
I think
that was
that's
it.
actually close to the title.
Okay.
It's a very long title. So it's Guitar Hero, but you just use your arrow keys
Yeah.
and stuff. That was the first song
Yes.
on the third one.
It's a good one.
Yeah,
It's a
yeah.
good
So I
song.
actually do know who you're talking about, and I guess the band too.
Yeah.
All right. So 4.
Depressing song.
I'm gonna say Wizard.
Nope. No. Wizard's the face of the game.
I just
I
I've
would
expressed
put
my
a cleric at number 4.
cleric at 4.
Cleric 4.
All right, Cleric 4.
You were
I
down
agree.
on the cleric.
Yeah, I was down on the
Now
Cleric.
you want Wizard 3.
I do want Wizard 3.
I'd put Bard 3.
Bard?
Yes.
Ooh, no, you know what? That's a good point.
Yeah.
Wizard
put-
2, Rogue One.
That was quick.
That's we've gotten that, so I'm in my head.
Selfishly, I'm okay with that. Objectively, I probably think Wizard should be one, but if we want to put Rogue One, bro.
I would play Rogue before Wizard.
Really?
Yeah.
I think Rogues.
I kind of want to defend Wizard here. I'm very conflicted.
I would
'cause
actually put Wizard at 3. I would
instead
do
of Bard,
I would do
disagree
Bard
with
at
that.
2.
I disagree with that.
No, I say Bard 3, Wizard 2.
Why do you
Rogue
want
One
Bard
for me.
above Wizard?
I just think that there's a little bit more.
Flair?
Yeah, like I think you like if you pick a Bard, you are you have to
Be the face.
be role playing, and you have to so much of like the actual campaign should be hung on your shoulders, where like you're good in combat, you're supporting the team, you are holding everybody's hand, and you're like, all right, I am the glue of this situation or this party or whatever.
Yep.
Where if you're a wizard, like again, you like magically, you want to be powerful. You're like, sure, but you aren't going to be the face of the party. You're not going to be making those deals. You're not going to be. Doing
I
that
disagree.
stuff.
And here's why.
So wait, are you talking
A
about?
wizard can solve every problem with any spell. Oh, I'm not the face of the party? Oh, here's a spell that gives me advantage on every charisma check. I am now the
What
face
level?
of the party.
What level? What level? Because
It's a
those types of
cantrip. Friends.
Ouch. All right.
Yes.
But-
and then it's like, oh, we need water? Boom. Oh, we need shelter?
But doesn't
Boom.
that piss you off?
Oh, we need to send someone to hell? Gone. Oh, we need an army of the dead? Done.
I guess then that falls into, because I know we left it open.
I can
on,
do
like, what
nature
are you
magic. I
ranking?
can do elemental magic. I
You
can do
put a bubble
necromancy.
around
I
my
can do.
character and just leave me stranded in a bubble for the entire fight
Yep.
while my party gets picked down and then I can't 1v4.
Yup. Oh, you want me to read that guy's mind? Gotcha.
That's fun for the wizard. Is it fun for the party?
No. And
if
that's
you're
why
a party of wizards, though.
that's why
You're a party of wizards.
you know what, Tyler, you're very convincing. Wizard 3, Bard 2, Rogue 1.
I disagree because it is fun for the party because the wizard only has so many spell slots.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
And then you got to hear him whine about taking a fucking long rest for the.
that's true.
it's-
That's the
no.
negative.
No.
That's the
You
negative.
also have,
No, let me
you
finish,
have to
though.
protect the wizard at all times too.
Exactly.
Because
So
he's
the
got
wizard
myself
needs to
up.
live.
That's how angry I am.
The
You made
wizard
me
needs to
swear
live.
on air. I gotta leave it off.
The wizard needs to live, so you need to protect him, so he's no good dead. But also, it's like he is your oh shit button, where it's like, oh shit, we really need this to happen. Guess who has a spell for that? The wizard. But he's not going to willy nilly do it because he needs to save it for when it's desperate time and we need this to happen. And it's like, oh shit, we don't know what to do. This guy died, and he's the only guy who knew the secret Krabby Patty formula. Oh, I can talk to dead people because I'm a wizard and I can do everything.
Wait,
Let's strike
hey,
up this conversation. And
You know what? I know we need to find out the Krabby Patty recipe, but guys, sorry, I thought we were going to be fighting today, so I didn't prepare Speak with Dead, and I know that we can only speak
He's
with.
dead. We'll
We
sleep.
can't-
We'll address it in the morning when I have my spell slots. He's gonna be there. He's a pile of bones.
Yeah, bards, they can only change spells when they level up.
Yeah.
Is that
Correct.
accurate?
No, that's a good
Yeah.
point.
Yeah.
Yeah. So actually, wizards more of a.
No, it just
I'm a
means
big-
that bards have to be on top. They have
Yeah.
to have forethought. They have to be thinking on their feet, and they have to make do with what they have, and just befriend the party and make everyone like them. That's the whole thing. Is like you're trying to make everybody love you. So the campaign, like the NPCs love you, the players love you. Like you are there to.
Wizards can also do that.
Yeah, wizards. No one
I
loves a
can
wizard.
charm person. I can force your brain to love
I'm about
me.
to get sorcerer back on the list.
No, wait, but do we all agree Rogue One? Are we arguing
It's a
between
great
2 and 3
movie.
right now?
I think we're arguing 2 and 3.
It is
We're
a great
arguing 2 and
movie.
3. It is a great movie. That's the best Disney Star Wars.
Oh, no.
That's the best Disney Star Wars.
Are the movies?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, okay, that's fine.
Yes,
That's-
movies.
that's
yes,
not
yes,
a-
yes, yes, yes.
It's not a hard.
No, Andor is amazing.
yeah, Andor is
Mandalorian
really
would
good.
probably be one though, right?
No, I would put Andor.
No, I
up
would put
there.
Andor above Mandalorian.
Because of the recent seasons.
It's
Well, there's
just
only one season.
Yeah.
No, the Mandalorian stuff. Because Mandalorian fell off, or
No.
Andor's actually just better.
I think so. Here's the thing. I think that I think they're two very different shows, right? Andor is like we're down to brass tacks. This is like adult, edgy Star Wars, but not so edgy that it's off-putting. Whereas Mandalorian's like, oh hey, let's just we need milk for Grogu, and sorry, we don't like Mandalorians, but we'll like Mandalorians if you do this. It's like it's the generalist. It's like
You don't like Mandalorian?
I like Mandalorian. It's just that I think that it's less complex and like less, but like the story is shallower.
Mature?
No,
Less mature?
I'm going to say the story of Mandalorian is shallower than the story of Andor.
You agree with that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not saying that one is bad, one is good.
I
just
like
think
his book of Boba Fett too, so it's kind of like it's fine. I mean, especially the last few episodes, whenever Boba
You
Fett's
also
not in it,
think
it's just
episode 1
Mandalorian.
is the best movie. Like
Second best, yeah.
unironically.
Second
No,
best.
no. You've told me in
Yeah.
private.
No. Oh yeah, but you can't say that on there.
I
wait,
wanted
wait,
on
wait,
air.
I also
Second
on
points
air.
of this.
In the
you
group
said,
chat.
you know what, John?
No,
I just feel like I have to put 5 and 1 or else I would feel
have
1
to.
and 1.
I have to.
Exactly.
I think episode 1 is fine. You want me?
I want you to
I
put
think
it on
episode
there.
1 is the best Star Wars.
Oh, you're the worst.
I was gonna say also. I was gonna say it was a group chat, but no, it was on air in an earlier in that my first episode I was on, where you said an Eggo waffle is better than a steak, egg, and cheese bagel.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know what? So you have no.
I
you
must
have no
have really
credibility.
wanted. I must
I'm
have
telling
really
you, you're a
wanted it.
contrarian. You literally just want to see me mad.
buddy. I owned. You don't know how much Star Wars swag that I owned for episode 1. Like I was. In
Yes, but I just want you to admit it's all nostalgia.
I just watched it.
He doesn't admit it. It's all nostalgia.
I just watched it. It could be a
It doesn't
nostalgia.
matter.
So
it doesn't matter if
it's
you just watch it.
but it doesn't-
I don't know. I just watched Winnie the Pooh.
It does.
It holds up because it's all nostalgia.
The only negative thing I can say about episode 1 is whenever they hit the droids with their lightsabers and it doesn't accurately slice the limbs off how they should. They finally fixed that in episode 3, but that's because the CGI is finally there.
I'm a episode 1 apologist. A defender, I should say. I'm an episode 1. I love episode 1.
Not as big as I am.
You're ridiculous at it.
I was
with
gonna say,
it.
episode 1 didn't work for me until the Darth Jar Jar theory came to light, and then once I started because Jar Jar Binks was such a sore spot in my mind that whenever I
is cringe.
reframed his character through like the he's secretly a Sith Lord, I enjoyed it significantly more.
I actually
Revenge of
was
the
the
Sith
opposite.
is still the best of the prequels.
I was like, oh yeah, 100%. I was actually the opposite, where I was like, oh, Jar Jar couldn't have been that bad, right? And then we rewatched it.
yeah,
Oh, he's bad.
he's real bad.
He's fine.
No, he's not.
He's okay.
How do you defend him?
He's okay. He's better
The
than
trade routes.
He's better than BB-8, than the little dudes screwing around with C-3PO's head. All the new stuff that they're adding from the Disney thing.
Agreed. I'm not
Yeah,
arguing. I'm not
right, but what I'm
arguing
saying
one's
is,
not
like,
better than that.
No, I know, but what I'm saying is like Jar Jar, give or take, like Jar Jar was one of the new characters. He was like, hey, instead of Chewbacca, you have this weird thing, right? Like you have all humans, and then you
and
have
he's
like
cringe.
he is, but he stood the test of time. You're not gonna have those little puffkin things.
So you don't even
10
remember what it's
years-
called.
Exactly, 10 years in the future.
I don't even remember what it's called.
But-
I'm
but
a
But
Star
you're
Wars guy.
saying it's better than episode 4.
Yeah.
But you're saying it's better than episode 4. There was no pumpkins in episode 4.
Episode 4 is
You know who was in
boring.
episode
You know what?
4?
Actually,
Episode 4 is boring.
Episode 4 is the so it's 546. It's
Real.
546 for the OT.
Yeah, but episode 4 is episode 4 is great. It's the introduction of all the characters. I love episode 4. I love the fact that it's a standalone movie.
What is happening?
Dude.
Speaking of characters, which class is second?
No. You opened this can of worms. We're gonna
Pandora's box.
Look. What is a Star Wars movie? You have
Episode
you
4
have-
is
you
the
have
Star Wars
characters.
movie. That was the formula.
You have the characters. I think episode 4 has that's the classic iconic characters. They're awesome characters.
Oh, Jar Jar Binks is like, oh, this
But-
is the new Chewbacca. Guess who's in episode 4? Chewbacca. Guess who we met in episode 4?
Chewbacca is overrated.
So
man.
here's a
The
hot
only
take.
reason Chewbacca is good is because
And
Han
what?
Solo.
Jar Jar's underrated?
No.
Yeah,
You're fucking out of your mind.
he's underrated if he's hated.
Hot take.
He's not only, he's the worst.
Go ahead and let's watch the lightsaber fight in episode 4, and then put that against episode 1.
Sure.
Okay.
Let's look at the story. This just comes
No,
back to our
no, no.
philosophies, where you're all about gameplay and I'm about story and substance, the things that matter.
Trade routes matter.
but
That's the lifeblood the
I don't want
economy.
to sit there and watch the Jedi Council debate about the train fucking routes the whole movie.
I'm
watching
sorry.
The
C-SPAN.
Jedi Council never debates the train routes. It's the Senate that's debating the train routes.
I don't care. I'm literally watching C-SPAN in the Star Wars universe.
Which
Do
is
you like putting
interesting.
on? No.
Dude, no, you know what? You know why
Look,
Andor's
I'm
so
a defender.
great?
I'm a defender of it. I don't hate the trade routes.
Right.
But to pretend like they're the most interesting thing,
No,
and this
they're
is
not the
like
most
this is
interesting
so
thing.
You
much
don't
fun.
get episode 3 without episode 1.
How do you
Episode
watch
1
episode 1
set
and not
so
fall
much
asleep?
stuff.
That's the movie you should be falling asleep
Pod
to.
racing. Pod racing.
I love
Still
pod
hol-
racing.
still holds up.
I love pod racing.
Still holds up.
Gungans versus the battle droids. Even though that's like a whole
Guys,
shit show,
I
that's
like
fun.
episode 1. I like it. I think it's in my top 5. To pretend that it's better than the original Star Wars.
I'm not saying
is
it's better than the
fucking
original.
crazy.
I'm saying that I genuinely think this, right? And I was saying hot take. I think that the only reason that episode 4 is so good is because of how good episode 5 was. I think the follow-up really completed it, because if we look at 4 as a standalone thing, it's kind of lackluster. It's how the story was expanded in Empire and how the Empire wins. Like, it really subverted expectations and did all these things to expand on Star Wars. Now, I'm not saying that Star Wars is bad.
No.
I'm saying that by itself, it's a smidge lackluster. It's all the expanding that happened after the first movie that makes Star Wars what we love.
I just agree. I think you could have 4 standalone. It'd be a great movie. It has like you could have wrapped up with 4. They defeated, they blew up the Death Star.
Yeah.
Spoilers. And like,
Spoilers from 76 or whatever.
77.
what is it, 100 years? And then you can spoil it. I think it could be a standalone movie. It could be great. Dude, for the introduction, man, they blast into the thing. They get Princess Leia. They
It's not
go
the
down
introduction.
That's the first part of 4.
That's like halfway through the movie.
No, it's not.
What are you talking about?
The Tantive 4, whenever
Tantive 4 is the first scene.
Yeah.
What? Oh! I'm sorry.
This is what you did last time, dude.
No.
And you were like, they didn't blow up the Death Star.
No.
They didn't blow up the Rebel.
For
They
whatever
weren't going
reason,
for the Rebel base.
For
I was
whatever
like,
reason, I thought you meant they were rescuing Princess Leia. I'm
Oh,
like,
okay.
dude, there is like a
but
significant
that's
portion of the movie.
that's such a great part where they were in disguise and they're breaking Princess Leia. Great Prison Break, by the way. Might be
it's a good
top
one.
5. That's fucking fantastic.
Everything's great here. How are you? Like it's pretty
Yes,
good.
that is
The
classic.
stormtrooper knocking his head on the door.
Stormtrooper
Yeah.
Nagi, that's a meme. And you get Tatooine, which is
You know
is that Tatooine?
what's a bigger meme than a stormtrooper knocking his head on a door? Jar Jar Binks.
That's a bad meme. That's a bad meme. Shrek's a good meme. Jar Jar Binks a bad meme. There's a difference. Okay, I can't argue about this anymore. That is so. We'll put a poll up. Want to put a poll up?
Yeah.
See what the audience decides. What's better, episode 1 or episode 4?
Yeah, you know what?
Better movie.
Do it.
Yeah,
Put it on Twitter.
we can
Do
do
it.
that.
Or X. Sorry.
think you'll
Put
win
it on
that?
X.
I don't.
Okay.
But I would. This is me putting it out there.
Yeah.
And God, if I win that, do you know how just
True. You have nothing to lose here. You have nothing to lose.
Oh man.
All right, we're coming up on a long time. So
Wait, how long will we do this?
2 hours and 40 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay.
To be
Bard-
clear, an
Bard
hour
2.
ago you said, it's getting kind of long.
This is true. Bard 2. Wizard 3.
And that you agree with that?
I would agree with that. Yeah.
Okay, I want the record to show that I destroyed and dismantled all of your arguments on that, but I am outvoted.
Hey, we gave you Rogue One.
Wizard can no, you didn't give me. You said I want Rogue One, and I said I don't know how I feel about that, even though I kind of want that.
The problem
So
with
that was
the
that was
problem
a
with your
rogue move
arguments-
right there.
the
Trying to
problem
put
with your
that in my
arguments
mind.
is you
Gaslighting you.
are single-handedly turning your just on the face of it. I'm like, I would hate anyone playing a wizard, except you're playing a wizard,
And you
I
love
love
it.
your character,
and it's fantastic.
Yeah.
And guess what? I'm going to be able to do everything, and you're still going to love them.
So if you want to change wizard to Milo and put that on
It's
there,
best version.
there you go. Yeah, well,
That's our
You know what?
rules.
That is
That's
true.
the version.
that is the food rules.
Damn it.
I still think overall Bard is.
All right, that's fine.
is
I think bards are great, so I'm not super angry at that.
All right.
But I think if we're being objective, wizard
Are we
should be
chiseling?
one. Are we
Yeah.
chiseling?
Yeah, we'll chisel it out.
Chisel it up.
All right.
I don't know why I can't reorder stuff anymore. So let me.
If it was alphabetical, you could.
All right, number 5 is fighter. Number 4 is cleric. Number 3 is wizard. Number 2 is bard, and number 1 is rogue.
Yeah.
I like it. Chisel.
We're going to get flamed for this. It's going to be a big flame. I love it. I love
I
when we get
disagree
flamed.
because it's
Oh,
everyone.
everyone.
Nate
Nate.
and Jeff are going to be the only people who
Yes.
you hear feedback from.
Well, what's
No,
the
I think-
here? Let me break this out. What's the later?
Just real quick while he's doing this, John Harbin, I'm calling you out. We need to figure out when the Fantasy Football League starts.
Oh, commish.
Yeah, commish.
The commish.
On the spot.
I don't think he
You better
listens,
leave
but-
this in the episode, Tyler.
John doesn't listen to these.
I was
They're saying, Bard.
What did you look up?
Bard is number 1. I was looking up the chart on like everything broken out and like what gets S's and A's.
Did
and
you
they're
like
tiering
Google
it all
what's
and
the
stuff.
best class named Bard?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
Number
rhymes
one
with
is the
Schmard.
list. Yeah.
Bard's
Yeah.
also a great champion in League of Legends.
He's not.
We're not going down.
Great.
We already did Star Wars. You get to pick one. You pick Star Wars.
Fair enough.
God, it makes me so angry when you're like, look, because I don't want to argue against episode 1.
Yeah.
I'm usually you. I'm usually like, guys, it's not bad. It's awesome.
Dude, pound for pound. I don't like, hey, you like Mace Windu? You like
Yes.
the Jedi Council?
Yes. You know who's better?
All Star
Han
Wars.
Solo.
Episode 1.
Han Solo's better.
Then everyone?
Yes.
Then everyone?
Yes.
Sure.
I would say Han Solo is the best character in Star Wars. 100%.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
the greatest.
Yeah.
And we get to meet him and we get to see how that's when we fell in love with him.
Yes.
You get to see him just shoot Greedo in cold blood.
We get to see him
depending on
as a
you.
stormtrooper in disguise. And the moment you're talking about, and that's just peak. That is peak Han Solo.
Yeah, Han Solo's great.
Han Solo sees Darth Vader, an evil space wizard from an ancient cult, and just shoots at him in episode 5.
No, he doesn't actually see Darth Vader. He just shoots whatever was going after
It's
Luke.
reflexes. Bang. Han Solo's the best.
In
Luke's
episode
great.
5, they walk
That was
into that
episode
feast.
5.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you see this giant black,
I think Princess Leia is fantastic.
Yeah.
armor clad, like
she's the best female in Star Wars. Easy. My opinion.
I don't agree.
Who's better? though?
Non books. non.
Yeah, I was gonna say I can't start listing
Tyler's
out,
like going through his library
Dude, Princess
right now.
Leia's better in the books than in the movies too. Like I don't know.
Okay, books count then.
You know, no, Ahsoka. I would say
let's see what
Ahsoka
Ahsoka
is like
does.
a really close second to Leia.
Do you agree
Yeah.
that Leia's the best?
I would say she's the best female character in Star Wars.
Yeah, she's
Keira
so
Knightley's
great.
pretty good.
Keira Knightley?
Yeah,
You mean
Is that
Natalie
the-
Portman as Queen Amidala?
yeah, but whatever. She had a body double.
Yeah, that was Keira Knightley.
Yeah,
You know, fun fact about
Wait, what are we
that. So
talking
when they had both of remember how Padme was like undercover as her own handmaiden?
Yes.
So Keira Knightley was the one who was being the fake queen.
Oh, okay.
And it was their own mothers, Keira Knightley's mother and Natalie Portman's mother, could not tell them apart whenever they were both in the full Amidala makeup.
So they did their job.
Yeah, they did a really good job. It was a good casting choice, good makeup.
Nice.
yeah. I'm trying to think. Shmi was pretty good.
Who?
Shmi,
Shmi Skywalker. We wouldn't have any. Honestly, we wouldn't have
Who's
anything
that?
without Shmi. That's
Anakin's
Anakin's mom. Jinx.
Yeah, that's not. That's not it.
all right.
I don't even remember her.
Oh, I mean that's fine. It's the whole.
She's got a lot of midichlorians. Tell you
three.
that.
Yeah, I don't know. I would say that Ian McGregor is a close second. I would actually probably say I like him more than Han Solo. Not to be contrary, because I love Han Solo.
No,
you know that. But, like, he's so good.
Obi-Wan's great.
I just don't
Obi-Wan's
think he doesn't hit that until after episode 1. So there's that caveat there where
Yeah.
I can't argue
Oh,
that
you
Obi-Wan
McGregor,
is-
I can't Obi-Wan.
The
he's
first
not
scene
my
you see of
favorite.
Han Solo,
But
is
Liam
like
Neeson's
hits.
though.
Liam
Yeah,
Neeson's.
Qui-Gon's freaking awesome.
I love episode 1. Guys, I'm telling you.
Doesn't sound like you do. I don't know.
It's in my top 5. Kind of.
It's like
I think it's in my. I think it's 5. I think it's 5.
but
It's
the worst.
5, 4. No, it's 5, 5, 4, 6, 3, 1. My top.
See, I'd say 5, Rogue One. I love Rogue One. 5,
I also love Rogue One.
I
Five-
think Rebels is better than
Rebels is great.
It's a TV show.
yeah.
But I'm gonna say 5, Rogue One, Revenge of the Sith, New Hope, and then I actually liked Solo, but I'm not gonna say that's my 5. I would probably put Phantom Menace as my number 5.
See, I like episode 6, and that's where a lot of people will disagree.
Ewoks.
I really.
Ewoks, man.
Yeah, but that's the only
I like
thing.
Ewoks.
I just love the
Fine.
concept of it.
True.
I love the tri-battle at the end.
Yeah.
Endor's
Oh,
great.
you like the tri-battle?
Yeah.
Do you?
Yes.
Like the tri-battle of the space and the Jedi fighting Darth Maul and the Gungans? Like the tri-battle at the end of episode 1? You like
Yep.
the tri-battles?
Yeah, but 6 is better.
Is that what you like?
6 is
no,
better.
it's not. What?
100% it
The
is.
tri-battle of 6 is
Yes.
better than...
Actually, we have the
Yes.
intense space battle, right?
Intense
We
space
have
battle
the
with
Jedi
Admiral
fight.
Akbar, the greatest commander of all time in space fleet history.
Okay, so
he
then
has
here's the
one
question.
line, and you remember him to this day.
It's true.
So Ewoks versus Stormtroopers or Gungans versus droids, which is better?
Gungans versus droids.
Okay. And
But-
then,
but Endor was better
No, this is good. Ewoks versus Stormtroopers, Gungans versus droids.
No, because the
Gungans
main-
versus droids are better.
Not letting me finish.
And then Vader and Luke fighting, or Obi, Qui-Gon, and Darth Maul fighting.
No, you're not going to
Which is better?
You're not going to gaslight me like this. You didn't let me finish
Seems
my
like the
point.
numbers are, okay, go ahead.
You have the fucking main characters on Endor. You have Han Solo, the greatest dude ever.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
really did a good job.
So you have the
hacking
fucking
that door.
you have the Gungans who are fucking up the droids, but then you have Jar Jar Binks running around like an idiot,
Being a Sith Lord.
I guess. And then so your main character is Jar Jar Binks in that battle.
yeah, weird.
And
so
then
the one that saves everyone
I
is
pan
Jar
my
Jar
camera
Binks.
over to Endor, and I get Princess Leia. I get
who gets shot in the
Chewie.
arm.
Right?
Yeah, because
Chewie,
she's a
who-
beast.
Chewie-
she's a beast.
She
and
tanks
eats
that shot.
Shit.
She does.
Eats it.
No, you know what? I'm with you. All right, so
Eats that.
But
Endor better than Naboo, right?
Easy.
I do think that Anakin, like the space for Phantom Menace is better than the space for Episode 6. I did not like Lando and Nien Nunb.
I'll give you that.
Nub, yeah,
Yeah.
something like that.
Even though I disagree because of Akbar, but I'll give you that.
But the real thing
Akbar's
that's
the goat.
hard is because Duel of the Fates goes so insanely hard.
Yeah.
It's like okay.
I'm being objective that
might be the best.
They're just
song.
tied.
it
They're
is,
just,
it is the best song, but
They are just tied because you have like the
fight's
Ewoks
cooler
are
in
better.
Phantom Menace.
yes,
But the battle means so much more in
which
6.
is why I think like they even each other out. I
like
think
the dialogue in 6 is so good where
Yeah.
like Luke's refusing to fight him and he's like trying to talk him out of it, and the whole thing where he's hiding and they're fucking talking to each other,
Yep.
father and son. Great.
You don't need that dialogue.
Great.
All you need
and
is
then
promise
the
me you'll
Emperor's
train
sitting
the boy.
there watching the fucking scene where they finally clash. Because
you see Luke lose it. You
How
see
about your
Luke lose
fucking
it for a
sister,
second."
bro? And it's like clash. Emperor's sitting there just laughing his ass off, and you just see this space battle in the background. What a fucking moment! Great, greatness.
It's cool. I'm just saying, Han Solo, Princess Leia, they all would have died if it wasn't for Chewbacca.
I do love
and
when,
his analog, Jar Jar Binks on Naboo, they all would have died.
Get out of here. Tyler.
For Jar Jar
I will
Binks.
say I do love when the light wall is up and Maul's just sitting there,
Yeah.
and you're just like
You don't
stop.
need,
back
you don't
and
need
forth.
words.
You don't need the words.
If you
there.
know all the backstory and everything going on,
He's
where
just-
where
is he
Qui-Gon
like,
Jinn is all calm,
Yeah.
and you have his type of force, and you have Obi-Wan's, and you have Darth Maul's, and you just see how all that works. Like,
Beautiful concert.
Look, I like one. It's top
that's
5.
the only reason Anakin got trained.
Dude,
Is because
Yeah, I guess
Qui-Gon
Qui-Gon.
got killed and Obi-Wan felt
Wasn't Qui-Gon a
Spoilers.
an Anakin stan? Are you saying Anakin or Obi-Wan?
What do you mean?
So the only reason Anakin got trained,
Anakin got trained.
right?
Yeah.
So the only reason Anakin got trained was because of Qui-Gon.
correct.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
So if he would have lived, he would have definitely got trained.
Theoretically.
but it was in the air because he died.
Right.
Spoilers.
Right.
Yep.
So if he died but still got that off, because if he died, there's no way Obi-Wan was going to train Anakin if he didn't get that little like,
Yeah.
hey, train the boy before I
The
go.
last thing he says. Yeah. Shoot.
yeah, dude. If we think about it, Qui-Gon Jinn was laying there for the duration of the rest of that battle, just like I gotta save all my strength to tell him to train Anakin.
Think about this. Because he said that, how many people died?
You know what? Qui-Gon Jinn, war criminal.
War criminal.
But then,
Because he created Darth Vader.
but then on the flip side of that, you want to talk about
didn't he go
things
out
that
and seek
meaningful.
Anakin?
Yeah.
So,
He was
dude,
looking for
war criminal. How many dead people? You read all the books.
Well,
That's a lot of dead people.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so you
That's 10,000 Jedi.
There's
dead.
a lot
That's a lot
of
of dead people.
so Qui-Gon got really into the whole like, well, technically, I don't.
He became a
we can't get
conspiracy
out of-
Didn't he
theorist.
get into the
Technically-
wheels?
So did Doku,
Yeah.
Doku, and then like or Dooku,
Dooku.
and yeah, there was like a whole. There's some books you should.
Did you watch the Tales of the Jedi with young
not
Dooku?
yet. I did, but
It was so
yeah.
good. It
Yeah.
was so awesome. I'm telling you, John, you have to watch the Clone Wars. Can I burn all my hours ever on making you watch the
think
He
Rebels?
Rebels-
comes up and gets 500 hours.
I think Rebels is better than Clone Wars.
You agree with that?
I think the characters
Yeah,
are
of
better.
cour's you agree with it. You
No,
just
I
said
think,
it.
I think the characters are better.
so
I
let me
just-
say-
It's like, do you
I
agree with that?
think
And you're like, yeah,
that
100%. I think this guy's making a lot of sense. This guy who likes episode 1 over here.
So
Yeah, I
How
thought
did this turn into Star Wars? We got to stop it. Like
Fashion.
we can't go 3 hours.
okay, well, I'm
We
gonna
have
say
6
I think
minutes.
that the peaks of Rebels, I would say, are better than the peaks of Clone Wars. But I think that, and partially this is because Clone Wars got to run for so much longer. It's like a, I would say like the best parts of Rebels are maybe like 1 season worth, and there are like 4 really solid, really good seasons of the Clone Wars. So like I don't disagree that like at its peak Rebels is better, but I think when we talk about terms of like just consistency of the story, I think the Clone Wars comes out on top.
I think that Rebels was like like what happens in this episode carries over the next episode, and it felt like it was, at least in the beginning seasons, I feel like it did kind of trail off a little bit, but I think the first season specifically grabbed me in such a way that it felt smartly written. It wasn't just for kid. Like it was like it treated you like an adult or someone like, okay, if you like Star Wars, this is good for you.
Yeah.
Where I felt that Clone Wars was, at least in the beginning,
I'll give you
more
that.
episodic, for kids, Saturday morning cartoons type of thing.
It was halfway through season 3, whenever the animation changed, is when Clone Wars like kicks it into gear and is just like running on all cylinders from like halfway through season 3 through season 7.
I just didn't make it through 2 seasons of Clone Wars before I swapped to Rebels. And then but then to be fair, Rebels is the reason why Ahsoka's going to be hopefully good. So
Yep.
I don't know. And I love Thrawn. Thrawn's my favorite character.
Thrawn's
All-
amazing.
All
All time?
Star Wars, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, that was long.
Yep.
We're going to need timestamps.
Oh, hey,
How am I going to do ties? Okay, here's where D&D starts. Here's where we break into Star Wars for a little bit.
I didn't think it was that bad. but
Here's
it is.
Kung Fu Panda, and now we're back to D&D.
I'm going to burn hours
This
on
is
that.
top 5, but it's actually just the top 3 because the last 2 that we fight over.
Well, the beginning would be impossible because it was like, hey, I saw this video on... We talk about
Look,
everything
you're
else in the
either-
world.
Yeah, like you're either in it
Aragorn.
or you're not. I don't know what to tell you.
Am I allowed to do an assignment? I know I'm like a guest, and I don't know if
Depends what it is.
Assignment? If it's read Red Rising, no.
Ah, shit. Because book 6 just came out and it's really good. But anyway,
You just got Red Rising.
Yeah.
oh, you just got Red Rising.
You didn't listen to the
Yeah,
last
and-
episode.
and-
Jeff came on.
Yeah.
He loves Red Rising. Yeah.
Yeah,
No.
but do you see? So Red Rising is maybe like 5th down.
Yeah.
See everything going up?
Yeah.
I gotta go through all that first.
That's fair.
So-
Okay. No,
a lot.
I have. I was gonna say I want to assign because when we were all talking about this previously with Dune, right? Because Dune Part 2 comes out in November. Is it possible just to assign you like you have to watch Dune before then?
Yeah, we already agreed on that.
All right,
I'm going to
cool,
do it.
Cool. I'm
Yeah.
just putting it out there so that I have like
Yeah,
you know.
it's recorded
was
now.
good.
Yes.
Yes.
I will be watching Dune before Part 2 comes out.
All right.
When's that out?
November.
End of November.
November. Okay. Call of Duty's come out then, so we'll see.
True. Wait, there's a new Call of Duty.
Yeah,
I'm still gonna be
Modern Warfare
playing.
3.
Really? No way.
Yeah.
I haven't heard anything about
I
that.
also
They
haven't heard
just
anything
announced
about
it.
And it's coming out this year,
November. Yeah.
Didn't they just like wait? The Modern Warfare 2 came out in like 2021.
2022.
Well, I mean, there's a new Call of Duty out every year,
sure.
buddy.
Well, they were doing the thing where
Yeah,
they
I
were
understand what you're
skipping,
saying. Yeah,
you know,
but
they were
no, it is
alternating
That
series.
that.
can't be-
Makarov's
it
on there.
can't
They
be
released
good.
the trailer for it. Yeah.
It can't be good.
It's a little concerning. I mean, we're over, but like it's a little
we're-
concerning whenever they're like,
2
yeah,
minutes.
and like everything you unlocked in 2, you'll have in 3. It's like
So isn't that just
it's like
Overwatch 2 then?
kind of like an expansion, but not. So
Yeah,
we'll see what the campaign does.
It's probably going to be like Overwatch 2.
right.
Okay.
Well, hey, thanks for having me on the couch, guys.
Absolutely.
coming.
Thanks for joining, Calvin.
We're technically taking a week off, so this is like a
Yeah.
2-parter.
Yeah,
Yes.
hey,
Split
here's
it.
a really long episode that
Yeah.
you can
To
milk
chew
over 2
on
weeks.
for 14 days.
Yeah.
All right. Sorry.
Absolutely. No, you're good. Fantastic. Thanks for coming, Calvin. We appreciate it. We talked about everything.
Yep.
So enjoy this one. Check us out on couchcompany.games. All the links there. Anything you want to shout out?
Not really, man.
Okay.
The X poll. You got to make sure that we do the poll whether 1 or 4 is better.
But you have to leave it up for 14
If I
days.
lose that, I might not be showing up next time. Yeah, that's all we got. So thanks for joining us. If you made it this far, you're a trooper. And
Or something.
you're something. You're fantastic. That's what you are.
Yeah.
We'll see you same time, same place. Not next week, the week after. Thanks for joining us on the couch.